All right.
Hey, Schmack 'em a gob, everybody. It's the Rock and Metal Podcast, also known as Pod Fluid, also known as the American Podcast. Kings. And I am Dr. Fucking with me is.
Oh yeah, Babada Shooby Wow, Wadzilla's here, baby. And
Yeah,
we got a very special guest with us tonight. The one and only Charlie Hill, finally making an appearance on the show.
hell yeah.
Hey guys,
Look
great to
out.
see you too. I've been a fan of both of you forever, and yeah, I know it's long overdue, but I don't know. Hopefully this goes well.
It will go well. Let me tell you, this is the craziest thing, Ian. Charlie, would you mind showing your tattoo? You know,
Yeah, my
cheap trick. All right.
Nice.
This is the thing about Charlie. Charlie became a Cheap Trick fan
because of you.
because of, and Ian too. It was the podcast, right? Wasn't it? Well, or was it Almost Human?
It was almost human.
You suck, Ian.
It was almost human.
Hey, but if you never saw me on Almost Human and listened to one,
Right.
if you listen to one of the Cheap Trick podcast episodes with me and it Ian, you'd be like, "Oh man, I got to thank Ralph and Ian." You know, of course I got to thank Ralph 85%, but come on, let's throw 15 at Ian. Man.
Of course, Ian deserves the same credit as you, but honestly, no, I was randomly, clicking on YouTube. I saw your Kiss videos and I fell in that rabbit hole, and you had that Cheap Trick compilation thing, and I fell in. I was a casual fan of Cheap Trick, knew just the hits. Actually, I saw them open for Motley Crue in '97 for the Degeneration Swine tour, which was terrible.
Was that in West Palm Beach?
No, I saw them in Pittsburgh. I used to live there. So I saw them, and again, I just thought, oh, they're the band with the happy songs, I Want You to Want Me, all that. So I respected them, but I didn't know the dark side of Cheap Trick, which this record basically epitomizes,
Maybe the darkest.
Yeah.
This one may be the dark. So because of Charlie getting into Cheap Trick, because of me, this guy goes long distances to see Cheap Trick. There was one time Charlie went. Unfortunately, they didn't meet. Charlie saw a show. Was it in Niagara Falls or Canada?
Yeah, we saw them at Niagara Falls 2 years ago.
Yeah, and who was at that show?
Connor.
Yeah,
Connor Stratton.
Oh, nice.
His girlfriend Trinity.
Yeah,
nice.
And we tried to meet up, but it just didn't work out. But yeah, he was there.
Yeah, I said because I found out that you were going, and I told Connor on Facebook, dude, Charlie Hill's gonna be there. Look for him, But
yeah, that was a great show. We saw them 2 weeks ago in St. Petersburg. That was great. But we've seen them this year like 4 times.
Amazing.
Danny, say hello.
Danny's
here.
Hello, Daniela.
Where's Daniela? I want to see Daniela.
He's shy.
Oh, I know Daniela. Come on. Oh, there's a pug. There's a pug life. Oh, and Daniela. How you doing, sweetie?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad.
Good, huh?
Nice to virtually see you. Love the tea.
Yeah.
Oh, and you got the pug with you. That's awesome.
Our little asshole. Have fun.
Okay. Bye.
And Charlie not only travels to see Cheap Trick, but he goes all the way up to North Florida to see Robin Zander do some solo gigs. And he got me this. It's autographed by Robin Zander and his son, because his son does the solo gigs with him. And Charlie sent me some videos. Fucking amazing. It looks like one of those.
That was a great gig.
It looks like one of those hotel ballroom type deals. Was it one?
Right. They basically.
It was, because it was with.
They played at the lobby. They played in the lobby basically. Like no frills, which is also part of why I love these guys. They'll play anywhere.
Amazing.
And it was just acoustic, him and his son. bunch of rare tracks.
Right.
So I hope he does more of those shows because it's 4 hour drive for me. It's doable. Listen, I don't have kids. We don't have kids. We can do things. We have the liberty of doing that.
I have kids. That's why I moved all the way down to South Florida.
We have kids alone. I think I'm one of your kids, Ralph.
I think so. You know, do you remember?
I mean, I'm Puerto Rican, but I'm sure, Cubans and Puerto Ricans.
You never know. Do you remember at a young age a guy being in your house and saying, "Hey, I'll be right back. I'm going out for a pack of smoke."
Right.
That was me. Anyway, so Ian.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man? Want to do the news already?
Fuck yeah, man. No, I just happy to be recording again. Just want to say I'm so happy to have Charlie on here because he's been a part of this show for so long. And
I love you guys. You know that I love you.
I always feel connected. I mean, these guys, even when we went through our divorce, you were at their wedding and I hung out with them on their honeymoon. I mean, this is these are real.
Clarify.
Yeah, these are
Clarify that one, Ian. We
lifelong friends.
We had a beer.
Yeah,
in our honeymoon.
Oh yeah. No, I wasn't in the room, but
right.
We hung out and had a beer. But no, man, super happy to do this episode, and yeah, man, we had such a great episode, the last one, and then we took a week off. I had my birthday. I just turned 51.
Wow.
51.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, on Mother's Day. I just share my birthday with fucking mothers of the world, God damn it. Why can't it ever be all about me? How old are you, Ralph? Are you 59 now?
I am 60.
You're 60?
I just turned 60 in February.
And Charlie, you're...
Before I forget, today is May 18th.
Yes.
2 great things happened to me on this day. 1979, my very first concert. May 18th, 1979, the Miami Highlight Cheap Trick on the At Budokan tour with the Rockets. And then another great thing that happened to me on this day was I released my first album, Poser Holocaust, 14 years ago today.
Nice. And Charlie, you just turned what, 25?
No, man, I'm 49. I'm right there with you.
Shit. Oh, okay.
God
damn. I don't know what you're doing, but it's working. You look good.
Thank you.
Dan,
That's why Danny's 25.
Hey, you guys are old as fuck. Oh, guys.
All right. Well, let's see what is going on in the news. Let's check here. Guns N' Roses performed their first concert in India in 13 years. And who gives a shit?
Oh, only a stadium full of people.
Yeah. I heard they just went there because there was food and soap.
Either way, man. Either way. If you get Sammy Hagar with free food and soap, there'd be nobody there.
Got a point. But man, I mean, all of us, I think, agree we love Appetite for Destruction, but what the fuck has this band done since? And this new tour is called something like What You Want and What You Get Are Two Different Things. And I couldn't agree more, because what I would like is original Guns N' Roses. And what I get is this bullshit. And I have no interest. No interest in seeing this shit.
I don't either, to tell you the truth. I won't go see it, but at the same time, hey, they're nostalgic, whatever, dude. I mean, and I can add up songs that they did after Appetite that'd be one good solid album. So they've done.
Did either of you think that, with the drummer leaving, that maybe there was a chance that Steven Adler might have rejoined? Because I was hoping for that.
I didn't think that was going to happen at all. I thought that's not even an option. And
yeah.
It's sad. Here's the thing about Steven Adler. It's sad because he's got this Steven Adler's Appetite band, and he still plays great. He plays. Yeah. He's got that swing, and that singer is better than Axel is now. But I don't know, because I'm only going to say I am not speculating. It's just something I heard recently. I don't know how true it is that Steven Adler plays some festival and he was in the hotel looking for drugs. I don't know how true that is, but it's something I read online. So maybe he's also a liability, because
That's what's missing from Guns N' Roses are the drugs.
exactly.
Thank you.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, which is, dude, not only you should get Steven Adler back in Guns N' Roses, you got to get Duff and Slash on Smack again.
Yeah, and you need Izzy to write good songs. That's what you need, and that's what's so crazy is they just keep coasting, on those early albums with nothing new coming out, and any new songs that you get are absolutely horrible, and it's just it's pathetic. It really is. I mean, there's no way you can deny how awesome Appetite is. Those songs still hold up. Everything after I mean, maybe throw in Lies with there. I love Lies, but that Use Your Illusions on, it's spotty at fucking best. But goddamn, people, Johnny Vogan will still go to see this shit. I love Johnny Vogan, but they're not gonna get my
We've seen them
fucking money.
twice too.
Hey, look,
We've seen them in the last couple of years. They're really good live, but I hear what you're saying, right? They don't have the swing or the swagger that they used to have.
I saw them at the Marlins Stadium. What was that, 6, 7 years ago?
I was there, 2017.
Yeah, I went to that, and it was amazing. But recent videos I've seen of Axl, I think that was the last story he had. The thing is that I think Axl destroyed his voice with AC/DC. That was some hard shit to sing, and
Yeah.
that's what I think. All right, what else is in the news? Fuck Guns N' Roses.
No, I just want to say it's like I love what they did in the past, but give me some new shit. Give me some new shit, or your legacy is crap. What the fuck have you done for me lately? You know what I mean?
Supposedly, there's a new song coming out June 6th. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
it's
but
an
have you
older
heard
Chinese Democracy.
Yeah, those other songs they put out, Hard School and whatever, that shit was fucking terrible.
Absurd.
That's fucking terrible. It's like you have not done anything worth a shit since 1989. Get the fuck out. I mean, go out there. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And I'll never forget when he did this interview on MTV when Use Your Illusions was coming out, and he's like, I just want to fucking bury Appetite. I just want to bury it. What have you done that's better than that? Nothing. You did something that's seminal that will never, like, I mean, Appetite's like the first Boston album, like, it's like one of the greatest of all time. But what have you done since? You are a one-trick pony. Get the fuck out of here and get Izzy Stradlin back in the band.
Have you guys heard the demos for Appetite for Destruction? Have either of you heard the demos for that? Because that also has to do a lot with the production. The demos I've heard a few times, being a big fan also of that record, and they're like a punk garage band. So whoever the producer was for Appetite helped a lot.
Mike Klink, yeah, did a great job.
I saw them.
All right.
I saw them in 1985, Charlie. I don't know if you've heard that story.
I've heard that story. Yeah,
I was.
They open up for somebody?
No, they were headlining the Troubadour. This was 2 years before Appetite came out, and I found out like a year or two ago that the very first time they played Paradise City was at the show I was at. I don't remember anything.
They looked like Poison then, no? They used to dress up like Poison?
And Axl had the Pouvier, but what I remember the most about Axl that night, he was acting like David Lee Roth. He never acted like that since. But that night at Troubadour was a total, hip swirling and, doing all the Dave moves, and he even came out in buttless chaps. So total Dave. And that's what I took out of that show. I was like, man, I thought they were good. I go, the band was good, but boy, that singer wishes he was David Lee Roth, right?
Don't they all?
All I remember about that night, the only song I remember is they played Mama Can from Aerosmith. That's the only thing I remember. Because I didn't know the other song. They could have been playing Jungle and what have you, and I wouldn't remember because I didn't know the songs. But I thought it was a great show. I came back like telling my friends, man, I saw this band Guns N' Roses, Troubadour, and they were fucking good, man. It was raw. They were like what you were saying, Charlie. It was punky, raw. I thought the band was awesome. It was amazing. And little did I know. And my friend Henry was with at the shows on my Facebook. And we always tell each other all the time, like, can you believe that? We saw this band and they became a stadium act. And they are still a stadium act. How many years has it been now? 30 what? 35?
40. It's gonna be 40 now.
No, 87. I think it's like 450. I don't know. All I know is
I didn't come here to do math.
yeah, exactly. Fuck math. We are the American podcast.
Yeah. Not only that, we are the world's biggest Kiss podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't let that shit slip.
I forgot.
Oh my God, Kith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, here's something that they got to be the bastard child of fucking Ghost because they're so fucking horrible. Are you guys familiar with this band Sleep Token?
Oh God, I heard a song like a couple months ago because I kept hearing about them.
Right.
Ooh.
Holy fuck, is this shit horrible?
Now I was like, my God, man. It's like I am so old, listening to all this shit. But here's the thing, Ian, man. I remember when I was a little kid, and I'd have older kids tell me, you listen to garbage, that Iron Man, that Judas Priest. You got to listen to fucking Grateful Dead and Moby Grape. I don't want to be one of those people. I don't want to grow up and tell anybody what they like sucks because I'm way older than that old motherfucker telling me that. So, it's like, let the kids like whatever the garbage they like. Hey, I don't give a fuck. Hey, Smashing Pumpkins. Right, Charlie? Smashing Pumpkins.
Right.
When
Right.
that shit became popular, I was like, wow, I'm officially old now. Because and then I heard Bush and Live and, all these fucking, post-grunge bands? Grunge I held on to. Because Soundgarden was cool, Alice in Chains, of course. I held on to, grunge. But post-grunge, everything after that has been downhill, popularity-wise. I don't like none of it. I only like retro bands. That new bands that sound like they're a heavy metal band from the 80s that write good songs like Thriller and Traveler and Godzilla. They're all awesome bands. And
I'm the same way. After 7 Mary 3, I just checked out, Fuck it.
Ralph, do you remember that drive back from the Misfits in Jacksonville where I made you listen to the 3.5 hour Smashing Pumpkins record?
Well, the thing is, I slept for 3.5 hours on the way back.
I thought you had passed out. Yeah, I figured because I would be talking to you. I was like, no, give this a chance. This is good.
Yeah,
but
you
no,
said,
you would hear Ralph snoring in the back.
Yeah, you said
Either that or he jumped out.
You said I want to play the new
Smashing Pumpkins
double album. I was like, I ain't. Danielle company are so awesome. They took me to the show and everything. I ain't gonna tell them no. I'm not like Ian, So I was polite, but yeah, knocked me the fuck out. I'm glad you put it on for me. It helped me sleep.
Yeah, we got back that day like at 4 a.m.
Yeah, yeah. Those Tampa drives are brutal. They're brutal. Like whenever
that was that show was so good.
If I'm driving to North Florida anywhere, I'm staying the night. Fuck that. I ain't driving back, man. I'm gonna go stay the night in a hotel and fuck it. But anyway, Ian, what's the next news?
Yeah. No, basically what I'm saying is, if you think the new Ghost sucks, listen to Sleep Token, and then you'll think, Ghost sounds like fucking Physical Graffiti. That shit's terrible. It's fucking terrible.
I really am trying to get into the new Ghost. It ain't working.
It's terrible, dude. It's fucking terrible, man. They have just they went down the fucking hot topic rabbit hole and they won't come out.
There's one song on the album that I think is like one of the greatest Ghost songs, and you hate it. I know you do. Was the first single.
I can't remember. There's one I loved it till they got to the chorus, and then I was like, "Oh, get the fuck out of here!" It gave me AIDS. I'm now on AIDS medication for hearing that Ghost song.
Satan Eyes.
Yeah, that shit's fucking terrible.
Love it. That part where it goes, blasphemy, heresy, save me. I think that's
faggotry, suck a dick at me. Fucking terrible.
That's a Manowar song.
Oh yeah, you're right. More faggot shit. Let's see. Gene Simmons says Ace Frehley and Peter Criss are welcome to appear at the new Kiss Army Storms Vegas event, but they got to pay their own way.
Gene is such a douche because he was saying this about Ace and Peter on the End of the Road tour. Oh, they're invited to come, but what he won't mention is we ain't gonna pay them.
Yeah.
And Gene knows. It's kind of like the Sammy Hagar, David Lee Roth thing. Gene knows by saying that Ace and Peter are welcome. He knows they're gonna say no. Where Sammy Hagar did that shit with Dave, and Dave said, "All right, let's do it." You know what I mean?
Well, I heard Peter's thinking about it. Ace said no because the dick's not a la carte, or it is a la carte. He's got to pay extra to get a dick in his mouth. Because Ace is a faggot who loves cocks in his mouth, dick shoved up his ass and drugs. Gene just wants money. That's his drug. But Kiss fans who love Ace Frehley are gay. That's what I'm saying.
Then I'm gay. But I gotta tell you, that Gene Simmons set list, fucking garbage. And I was thinking of going to that show, Charlie.
I had tickets. Me and Daniela were going to go because I've never seen him solo, and I was disappointed. I guess, was it because of poor ticket sales that they canceled?
Yeah.
It was at the Fillmore.
No. It was not poor ticket sales. It's COVID. Canceled that,
Common sense.
Kiss fans love that shit. Only COVID stopped that. Fuck Gene Simmons. Fuck Kiss. Fucking nerd shit. Here's a story I'm 100% behind.
Hey,
Five Finger Death Punch's Zoltan Bathory says, we probably have the craziest fan base on the planet. And that I agree with because that band sucks. And whoever likes them is fucking nuts.
Crazy.
Who listens to Five Finger Death Punch? I mean, really? I mean, they're big. Don't get me wrong. They're big.
They don't.
Who the fuck listens?
Who listens? People that don't listen to us. So they ain't gonna hear what we're gonna say. It's a bummer.
Oh, we were too old for that shit.
Oh, dude, we had the unpleasantry of seeing the fucking the bass player that's got like the fucking like dread tampons hanging off his fucking chin at Rockin' Pod. It was fucking horrible. I'm sorry, Courtney Cronin. I'm glad you're not even watching this, but that dude was fucking terrible. And the bad thing is, if you wrote the jokes for him, then you should go to joke jail because that shit was fucking terrible. Or I'm sorry, Roth wasn't there. I was there. It was fucking horrible. Oh my God. You think their music sucks. This guy's comedy's even worse, And then he goes into like all his MMA shit. And that's why you need to go into MMA. Because when your music sucks that bad, you're probably going to have to fight somebody. I hope his fighting's better than his music. Shit's fucking terrible. Five Finger Death Punch. That shit's gay. That shit's gay.
Jamie Jost from
yeah, he's a bitch too.
If he was in that band, they'd be called Four Finger Death Punch.
Yeah, he sucks.
You didn't know that? Did you know that he doesn't have a thumb?
I know he has no talent because I just saw him like try to do a fake ass fucking SOD show, and it was terrible.
Oh yeah, I saw it posted, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, that shit was terrible. All right. let's see here.
The
I'll give you
Who.
a
Are you going to talk about the Who and Sack getting
All
fired
right,
again?
you guys talk about the Who. I gotta piss. I'll be right back.
Yeah, they fired him, rehired him, and now they fired him again. And I didn't read it all. I read a little bit because my mom came over, but something that they wanted him to say he quit. Was it something like that? And he said, I ain't gonna say it,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, man, that guy's an awesome drummer.
He is. And
Forget
he's been
that.
with them for how long? He's been playing with them for like 30 years, huh?
Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous.
They're coming back here. I don't know if you're going, but I thought about it.
Where are they playing?
Is it the Hard Rock?
Oh, at the Hard Rock.
The casino, yeah.
Are you going to David Lee Roth?
I want to. I just haven't gotten tickets.
I already
But
got
I definitely want to.
I got my ticket, but man, I've lately, well, because of all my home, my mom, all these things, I really don't have the motivation to go to shows. I just don't want to go to shows because I'm just so beat up and I don't want to deal with, crowds and stuff. But
Yeah,
man,
I get it.
that David Lee Roth and Blue Oyster Cult, I was like, oh, I got to go to those.
Oh, so you got tickets to BOC?
Not yet, because my brother has this thing. He's a veteran, and they send him things where he can get tickets to shows for like 2 tickets for $8. So,
Wow.
but they usually give the notice the week before the show. So I got to wait the week before the show until hit up my brother. If not, I'll just buy it a day or two before, But that's not going to sell out. And yeah, definitely, I'm a big BOC fan.
There's no bands that are coming out that Danielle and I want to see right now. We usually have a full schedule coming up, but nothing that interests us, at least. Richie Kotzen and John Fiver playing the Culture Room. That might be cool.
I forgot the name of the band. Hey, Ian, what's the name of the band with John Bush?
Category 7.
Yeah, they're coming. They're playing Piper.
Oh, they're trying it again now?
Well, I don't know, but they booked the show down here.
Oh. Okay, well, hey, before I left, you guys were talking about the fucking Who, the shit with Zach Stark. Is he out again?
Yeah. Fired him again.
What the fuck? I don't. Anybody who goes sees this fucking Who abomination without John Entwistle. Who's their drummer now? Fucking Ricky Rackett?
Rocket. Get it right.
Rocket, get it right. Actually, Bobby Dahl is playing.
Who's their drummer now? Fuck the Who. Fuck the Who.
I don't know.
The Who fucking sucks now. Pete Townsend ain't even playing guitar. Fucking Roger Daltrey can barely he doesn't even know what planet he's on.
Yeah,
it's not the Who anymore. I love the Who, but this ain't the fucking Who. Get the fuck out of here.
I saw the Who thanks to Charlie, and that was an amazing show. I saw the 50th anniversary. That was an amazing show. I saw them win Entwistle 3 times. The 1982 farewell tour, Quadrophenia stadium show, and Tommy. And then I seen them, I don't know what, maybe 3-4 times after John died. My favorite bass player of all time, John Entwistle.
Yeah.
I was lucky to see them too in '95 with John Entwistle. But Ralph, did you ever see the original with Keith?
No, I wish. I wasn't going to shows yet. My first show, like I said, was today, 46 years ago today, May 18th, 1979. Keith Moon died in 78.
But fuck it, I'm team fucking Ringo's fucking bastard kid. Fuck him. That ain't the fucking Who. I don't give a shit. Who gives a fucking shit? Let's talk about some other shitty bands we don't give a fuck about. Gene Simmons. Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about that.
I don't know if I told you this, Ian. That Ryan and Josh, both members of Thrash or Die, are now going to do an SOD tribute band with Billy Milano. Did I tell you this?
What? They're in his new version? Are you serious about this?
Yeah. And here's the thing. I've known this for like a year and a half. I can't believe I didn't tell you this. Well, Billy Milano just did an interview and
I saw that.
he mentioned Ryan and Josh.
Did he in that interview?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna have something going. And Ryan and Josh, they were both in Malevolent Creation.
Oh yeah, I did. I remember that Malevolent Creation. Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan and Josh, they were in Thresh, the more important band, Thresh or Die, first.
Yeah. Exactly. No, but nobody knows Malevolent Creation. Everybody knows Thrash or Die. That was a very good interview with Billy Milano, I thought.
Me, how they fucked him over. And recently, I had a long talk today with Bobby Gustafson.
Yeah. Oh, he's pissed about that new Overkill.
Yeah, and I told him, I hit him up and I say, hey, listen, I'd love to do a story about it. It's just I want your permission. And he's like, yeah, do it, but it's directly directed to some chick, not really the band, but the band, is getting royalty. He's not, And
Yeah, we got to get him on the show. I mean, I know you're friends with him, and I've talked to him online about coming on the show. We just have to schedule it and shit.
When I talked to him today, I told him, dude, I'm going through hell with these inspections of my house, but it's almost done. I'll be living here and I'm going to do a barbecue and I would love to have you. And he's like, I would love to go. So I'm going to have a celebrity here. And then I'm going to hit up Dave the Beast Spitz so that I can have like rock stars over. You can have 3 rock stars, and Charlie's coming. You can have 3 rock stars here, man. Fucking Dave the Beast, Bobby Gustafson, and Dr. Fuck.
And Charlie Hill. God damn it.
Oh, yeah, Charlie Hill is a rock star. He was in a
Fucking A, right? Hey, the same day I met Dave the Beast Spitz, I met Charlie Hill. I hung out more with Charlie Hill. That's all I'm going to say, Good times. Judas Priest. Yeah. Good times. All right. What else is fucking going on? Richie Blackmore and Candace Knight. Oh, it's so fucking gross. Were inducted in the Long Island Music and Entertainment Hall of Fame. So she shows up. She takes part of it. I think Richie Blackmore's in a wheelchair now.
No, he's not.
No, I think he is.
No, because less than a week ago, the guy that does Almost Human Live with me, Count Ralphus, he took pictures shaking Richie Blackmore's hand because he just saw Blackmore's night near his house. He went, and then after the show, Richie was shaking people's hand. And when he went to go shake Richie's hands, Count Ralphus, his wife, took like fucking 20 pictures of it. And you can clearly see him like taking hands. And Blackmore's standing up, shaking people's hands. So, no, he's not in a wheelchair.
First of all, I don't believe this guy. Count Ralphus sounds like he's ripping your name off. Sounds like a bunch of AI shit to me. Richie Blackmore should be in a wheelchair for playing that goddamn fucking music. That shit's horrible.
Are you telling me one of my co-hosts on Almost Human Live, Count Ralphus, is really AI?
No, I'm saying his pictures with fucking Richie Blackmore AI.
Oh,
Count Ralphus. Get the fuck out of here. Count Ralphus.
Fucking Count Ralphus rules, bro. Shut up.
I'm not buying it.
No, you don't talk bad about Count Ralphus. That's not cool.
Is that the guy from, isn't he from a shitty band?
No. And if you keep talking, I'm banning you off the podcast Facebook page.
Oh, okay. All right.
You got to teach me how to do it, Ian, because you're administrator too. So I need to know the in and out.
You just got to hit the name and the button. That's all you got to do. Count Ralphus. Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck you.
Okay, bye.
You go by the name of Wadzilla. To me, it's just as cool as Count Ralphus.
I was born Wadzilla.
Yeah, but none of you have the Dr. Fuck nickname.
Yeah. But I don't call myself Dr. Fuckus or whatever. Count Ralphus. Get the fuck out of here. All right. Next story. Anyway, Richie Blackmore, fuck him. for playing that fucking horrible music.
And Ian, all you do is read stories and then end up saying, fuck them.
That's right. Michael Denner performed Merciful Fate classics with members of Artillery. Never fucking heard of them. And Denmark's
Artillery ruled.
okay.
That's an old
At Nordic's Noise Festival. What do you think about that whole shit with, I mean, you're a huge Merciful Fate fan. I think he needs to be in the fucking band, man. They need to get Michael Denner back.
No shit. And Kim Rose. Stop fucking around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could almost see Kim Ruz.
No.
I mean, because
No, you're wrong. Kim Ruz has YouTube videos of like maybe a year ago playing Merciful Fate songs with with a band. Really good band, and he nails it like nothing.
oh, really?
Yeah, man. Kim Ruz is fucking still amazing. Which by the
Okay,
way,
I thought he was out of it because of health shit.
no, man, no, that's all bullshit. And by the way,
Oh,
Wayne Noon, Rat Salad Review, and I are the only people that I know of that's ever interviewed Kim Ruz. We are the only people that's ever interviewed. And Kim Ruz didn't know about the Pro Shot Merciful Fate show that they did before Melissa. He didn't even know about it. So I sent him it. He lives in Denmark still, with a vinyl copy of the Merciful Fate tribute album I did. Yeah, he wrote back saying he loved it. I was like, wow, what an honor. Yeah, Kim Ruz, cool dude.
oh, see, I thought he was out for medical reasons. Like he just can't do it anymore. But Michael Denner, I mean, that, because I mean, what happened? That Hank, what was it? That Shenner Derman fucking shit they put out. I was like, fuck, they can both play. What's going on here?
Those are great albums. Both those albums are really good.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, they should be in Merciful. I guess it comes down to fucking money. Probably always comes down to fucking money.
Him and I don't know what the beef is, but there's a beef between Denner and King Diamond. There's some kind of beef there. I don't know what it's actually about. Where Michael Denner in interviews, he doesn't go into it, but he does say in interviews, King doesn't like him. So
yeah. But and on the flip side of that, I mean, fuck, one of my favorite Merciful Fate albums is the last one they did, 9. I fucking love that album.
Yeah, that's only King and Sherman.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, just for I want Denner fucking back. And the thing is, it's like they're all fucking old as shit, fucking do it before you can't do it no more. And what the fuck's going on with this King Diamond shit anyway? Put this fucking shit out.
It's gotten preposterous how long dude, the brand new song when I saw him live in 2019.
I was there.
That's 6 years ago. He put out that new song for the new album. And then like maybe more than a year after, he put out a second song. Granted, both songs are awesome, but what the fuck? And I do not like at all that new Merciful Fate song they played. The Gates or whatever, Jackal, whatever. I didn't like it at all. I just thought it was terrible. And it was long. And Merciful Fate always does amazing long songs. That's a long song that sucked. I'm thinking, and King Diamond even said in interviews, well, it's not actually done yet. Then don't play it. Play something from In the Shadows or 9. Dig a little deeper into the later shit. Or, fuck it, I'd be happy if they just play the EP to Don't Break the Oath, because those 3 releases have never been touched. You can't name me an album that I will agree with you and say that it's as good as Don't Break the Oath after 1984. Get the fuck out of here. All right, what else is in the news?
All right, let's see. What the fuck's else going on here?
Another drummer got fired, if that's any news. The Foo Fighters guy.
Yeah, Josh Freese.
Yeah, he's a great drummer. I don't know if you like Perfect Circle, but he was in that. And got fired from that subpar band, Foo Fighters.
Yeah, I heard that he impregnated the girl that Dave Grohl impregnated from his wife, a different girl. Now he impregnated her. And
Makes total sense.
It's a whole. It kind of reminds me of the Richie Kotzen Poison thing.
Yeah, nah, that is weird. I mean, he is known as a fucking incredible drummer, so to get fired from the band that I mean, I love and respect Dave Grohl. I think he's a fucking amazing drummer. I'm not the world's biggest Foo Fighters fan. I mean, they put out some songs where I'm like, I'll hear one song like, wow, this is fucking awesome. And then I'll hear another song like, wow, this is commercial fucking bullshit. But to kick him out, I don't get it. But, another thing we need to talk about, and I've been putting this off because it's pretty sad, is we lost a member of, the page, big fan of the show. And it's kind of hard to talk about, but I think we need to talk about Stephen Kirsch.
What happened?
He died.
No.
Well, he's dead to me.
Oh,
He went and saw Sammy Hagar in Las Vegas. There's no fucking excuse for that. And he took his daughter,
that's not
but,
right.
which totally backs up my thing. I've been saying for years, look, not all pedophiles are Sammy Hagar fans, but all Sammy Hagar fans are pedophiles. What the fuck? Why would you go see this motherfucker? In Las Vegas. He took his daughter to Vegas and he dragged her to go see fucking Sammy Hagar. I had no idea. And I think what really hurts me to the bone is, he's a Jew. And, both my grandfathers fought in World War II. One in the South Pacific, one in Europe. Together, they stopped Hitler. They didn't fucking stop Hitler so you could take your goddamn kid to go see Sammy Hagar in fucking Las Vegas. What the fuck? What the fuck? Ooh, the first Montrose. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Take your kid to go see fucking Sammy Hagar. You're making it harder and harder for me not to defend fucking Mel Gibson. God damn it.
Yeah.
Fucking take your kid to go see Sammy Hagar. That's fucking, and that's what I'm worried about is the fucking children, That's a fuck, because that's all who likes this shit, is the childish fucking lyrics, and you take other kids to this shit. It's fucking terrible. Fucking. I had Stephen Kirsch to my house. I cooked dinner for this motherfucker. And how does he pay me back? That motherfucker. Sammy Hagar.
Hey, Ian, look for another story to piss you off.
All right. Enough about the fucking Jews. The Jews that my family bled, to save. And then you go see fucking Sammy Hagar. God damn it.
Do you know that there's Cuban people that are Jewish? And we call them Jubans.
I love that guy.
That's true. We call them Jubans. They did a poll on the Miami Herald. Turns out 0% of Jubans would ever go to a Sammy Hagar concert.
You're goddamn right. Because Sammy Hagar's, what do you call it, plaster?
Plata.
Fucking terrible. Yeah, terrible.
You know how the Jubans say plasta? They say plasta, oy vey.
Oy vey, Sammy Hagar. Oof.
Oy, oy vey.
Hey, did you see this shit? Fucking Sean Kenny from Alice in Chains. What the fuck's going on with him?
Oh yeah, but he came out and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be fine. I ain't gonna die."
Yeah, he didn't say what it is though, But I get that. That's kind of a personal thing. But I'm all for him. Like, hey, fucking, you gotta take care of yourself.
What a what a
Uh,
what a underrated kick-ass drummer that guy is.
oh, so good.
Fucking
Amazing.
you see him live, it's like fuck. He even though they're polar opposites, he freaks me out live like Chuck Biscuits did. They're polar
Yeah.
drummers, but to witness them play live is pretty fucking rocking.
Oh, well, they're both fucking amazing drummers. And man, you want to talk about a bucket list band? Because I've still, to this day, I've never seen Alice in Chains, and I would go see them.
Ian, brother, Ian. Danny and I went to see them in Spokane like 2 years ago, and I sent you a message. We even got to meet them. I asked you, let's meet up, man.
Oh,
I
fuck,
think you
I
had
missed
blocked
that
me
one.
at that point. You had blocked me at that point for some reason.
I ain't blocked you. I got
But
you
yeah, I
blocked.
did ask you.
I just sent you a message today.
I feel like
Oh, you don't block
Oh,
me.
fuck.
But no, we saw them a couple of years ago there, and then we did the meet and greet. They were awesome. And the year
Oh.
before, we saw just Jerry at the Moore. I don't know if you've been to the Moore yet, but that's that famous
No.
theater.
Yeah.
We
No,
love
fuck.
Seattle.
No, I've never fucking blocked you. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, today when you
I am-
messaged me, the first message I have from you for a few years, but I have the photo.
I am bad about messages though. The messenger, I get so
I can
many
tell.
fucking shits. Yeah, no, I get a lot of shit. But no, I never fucking blocked you. But I wish, because I would love to see him. Because I'd go see him. With the
I would
current
have bought you a
lineup.
ticket, being
Fuck.
me, who I am.
Yeah, I know. You. Hey, look at this shit. I grabbed it. Look at this. I have on vinyl. Thanks
Oh,
to
yeah.
you.
I'm glad you have
Man,
that.
we're talking about. I love this fucking vinyl. So thank you very much.
Of course.
And I still have my Rush license plate that you got me.
Awesome.
Got that shit hanging up. No, I never fucking blocked you. Get the fuck out of here. I never blocked. In
He just didn't
fact,
see it, but yeah, we went to
no,
see.
I didn't see.
Would've been
In
cool.
fact, I've blocked. You can count the amount of people that I've blocked on Facebook. Well, like on our Facebook page, you could count the amount of people I've blocked with Jerry Garcia's missing fucking finger. And one of them is because the motherfucker talked shit about your wife. I'm like, ain't nobody talking shit about Daniela. And I blocked that motherfucker.
I appreciate it deeply. Thank you.
Yeah.
the people that I blocked on Facebook, it reads like fucking War and Peace.
Yeah, it does. That's just like Dostoevsky, man. You blocked all kinds of motherfuckers. In fact, I got to ask you. So this guy sends me a message the other day. He's like, I can't get on the page. And I let him on, and then I was like, fuck, maybe I should have asked fucking Ralph. Did you block Ian Woods?
I don't think so. And if I did, it was maybe 4 or 5 months ago because I haven't blocked anybody.
Okay. Well, no, because he asked me, and like he writes me this letter, like, I try to get on the page and I can't. And the first thing I asked him, I go, were you a dick to Ralph? Did you get into it with Ralph? Was the first thing I asked him. He's like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. So I added him to the page, and then I kept like forgetting to ask you, but I was like, oh shit, maybe I should have double checked to make sure.
Yeah, I don't remember the names of people I block. They're because the thing is, when I block somebody, it's usually knowing them for like a minute or two, and they're just dickhead.
Right.
You're gone, and I forget, in like 3.5 seconds, I forget the name of the guy I just blocked.
Yeah.
It's always a guy.
But no, and Ralph will attest to this. We get so many messages, but no, dude, I would never block you, Charlie Hill.
I know you have a lot of friend requests and shit. I was just testing with you, but no, I did send you a message when we were up there a couple of years ago.
Oh fuck!
Cool.
No, I wish I would have
moved.
saw it. Yeah, no, because I would. I don't even know how. Dude, I've lived here like fucking 2 years, and I like never travel, so I don't even know how far Spokane is. But
It's like an hour from Seattle.
oh, is
You
it?
could've totally done it,
See,
yeah.
you know more than me. No, I would have went in a heartbeat, but yeah, no, I would never. ever fucking ban you. You familiar, you family, you know?
Thank you.
So, all right, what else we got going on here? Bands we don't give a fuck about. Ratt shared a music video for that horrible song that was on their 40th anniversary of Out in the Cellar. Did you guys hear that song?
I liked it. I mean, if it was on the album, it'd be my least favorite on the album, but I didn't think it was bad. But no, I didn't see the video.
Yeah, but that's what I'm getting at though. Man, it wasn't like no like, hidden gem. It was just like, yeah, I see why that didn't make it.
Hey, I'll take it over a couple songs off every other album after that.
Yeah, but that's why you're wrong.
True.
Ratt kicks ass.
That is true because being wrong is the new right.
What else we got going on here? Fucking hollow. Oh man, poor Ricky Rocket, man. Says Poison got a great offer for headlining tour in 2026. It's in Bret Michaels' lap right now. Fucking poor bastard. That's what happens when you don't write songs in a shitty band. You get held hostage by the one guy who wrote the shitty songs in that band.
Hey, you know who's a fan of my channel, YouTube channel? And
Who's that?
The hair metal guru. You know that guy?
Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah, the hair metal guru. He did a recent episode, like, because he interviewed Ricky Rocket.
Right.
And he did an episode recently bashing Bret Michaels. Like, man, these guys made
I saw that. I haven't watched it.
It's good. It's good. I like the hair metal guru and his dog.
But I gotta say, you're talking about Ricky Rocket, though. The man you gotta go to is my man right here, Charlie Hill. This was the best. This was the best. When you and me had our fight and we split up, Charlie, this motherfucker paid for a cameo with Ricky Rocket. And Ricky Rocket's doing this fucking. I need to post it up again. It's fucking hilarious.
He's being all serious and being like,
"Oh,
yeah, I hear it down in the dumps."
Yeah, he goes,
"It's gonna be okay."
Yeah, I hear you down in the dumps and things are going bad, but it's gonna be all right. And I was fucking because I was upset about our fight and everything. When I see the shit that he fucking said, I was pissing my pants laughing. I must have watched this thing about 100 times. And goddamn, Charlie, I hope that didn't cost more than $5 because it's Ricky Rocket. But I know he paid more than that. But it was the funniest fucking thing. And I'm sitting there laughing like, if this motherfucker knew all the shit we've said about him on the podcast and all the shit we've done. It was fucking, oh my God, it was hilarious. But thank you, brother. That was, I was crying laughing. That shit was so fucking funny.
If Bobby Doll were on camera, you'd be getting a shitload of them.
Fucking Poison. Oh my God. And then here's something, Ralph, I've got it saved in my, because here's the thing, man. I work like 10-hour shifts and I save all this shit and I don't always get to see stuff. But I saw, Ralph, you've made a video on your Almost Human page about Sammy Hagar saying, oh, he's happy about Dave coming out and touring. What a crock of shit, though. I would love to hear, for our listeners who haven't seen the video, how do you feel about that?
Oh, what I did in the video was I said, I'm paraphrasing. I said, look at Sammy Hagar saying this nice thing about David Lee Roth. You know what? I think Sammy has changed. I think this is a really nice thing Sammy did. And I'll tell you what, I'm calling it right now. Next interview Sammy Hagar does, he's going to talk about how good David Lee Roth's voice was on the Six Pack and how much he sucks. Basically, that's
fuck Sammy and fuck him. I'm so glad though. I mean, a lot of people, man, that's the thing about that David Lee Roth show, man. thing, and I get that, Facebook and shit like that is kind of like it's all about the algorithm, it's all about what you look at, but man, my page, in my feed, I should say, blew the fuck up. It was all about Dave, and I was so fucking happy. Um, you
Guys, let
know,
me ask you because I've been a bit out of the loop. I haven't heard the last couple of episodes, but I heard
right,
that Sammy wrote a song for Eddie, like Goodbye
yeah,
or something. How
right, yeah,
terrible
it
is
came to
that?
him in a dream. Yeah,
Of
he
course,
said
just
he
like the
said Eddie,
aliens.
yeah, Eddie visited him in a dream, and he wrote this song with Eddie in his dream. I can't comment on the song. I haven't listened to it. I won't listen to it.
Good for
Uh,
you.
I am like I'm done. I'm done. Ralph, have you heard the song at all?
Yeah,
What'd you think?
it was fucking terrible. It started with the greatest thing I ever heard Joe Satriani do in my life for 5 seconds. And then after that, I went into a generic, stupid rock song. And,
Uh,
and the lyrics are like, thank you for the music. Thank you for this. Anyway, check this out. I just went on my Ticketmaster and I got this, bro.
Nice.
I can't see it. Oh, you got your
There
Dave
you go.
tickets.
Yeah, man. I heard it sold out in New York.
It better not be sold out. I want to go.
No, I'm saying in New York. Not, I don't know if this is sold out yet.
No, I think it's great, man, and I hope people go. Unfortunately, it's not coming anywhere near me. Uh, but man, all the footage I saw of that, and we talked about this on the last episode. Yeah, he's got, Boys to Men doing the background shit, which I thought was great.
I
Uh,
love it. I loved
yeah,
it.
and it's so Dave. Dave has always been like that was the great thing about classic Van Halen is the mix of what Dave brought, like the vaudevillian and the R&B and stuff he brought to what Eddie brought to the table. And that's what was missing when they split. I mean, I love some Dave solo, but what was missing is what Eddie brought to the table. You listen to fucking Van Hagar or Van Sharon, and you're like, yeah, you totally see what's missing there.
You know,
But I thought he sounded much better than I've heard him sound in years. The spirit was there and everything. So yeah, I'm for all go. Why wouldn't you go see that instead of this horrible shit that fucking that NAMBLA convention that fucking Stephen Kirsch took his daughter to, which he should be ashamed. Shame, shame, shame.
you
You
know, you,
know.
you know what part of that Dave show ruled was when he went up there with the black dudes and started singing ba ba da shooby doo wah.
Shooby doo wah.
They were all doing that. Oh my god, that shit was amazing. Ba da cha ba da shooby doo wah. I was like, fuck. So yeah, I'm going to see it, man.
Whoever that guitar player is smokes. Whoever that guy is, I've never heard him. Fucking smokes.
He's been with Dave quite a few years. He's a great guitar player. The whole band is really good.
Yeah, I was there's a guy, I wish I knew the guy's name so I could say it. I'll post it on the Facebook page, but there's a guy that plays these Eddie songs, and I've never heard anybody play Eddie Van Halen the way this guy has. I mean, this spot on. And I wish Dave would have got this guy. But the guy playing for him at that show,
Man,
I didn't think he was bad. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think most people like him better than I did. But I think I'm kind of biased because this guy I've seen do all these videos of him doing Eddie Van Halen, and it's just like it's mathematical. It's meticulous how fucking on the spot this guy is. Um, but I mean, even the guy that Dave had with him is better than Joe Satriani doing this shit. And that's the thing about Satch is Satch has got his own thing. He's got his own, music, his own persona. I think it's the ego that stops him from going 100%. I believe that he could do it, but I think it's like that ego, like, I gotta make it mine, you know? Probably Vic Johnson could do a better fucking job doing the Van Halen shit for Sammy than fucking Satch, but
Satriani,
whatever.
Satriani bores me. I've seen a couple G3 shows where he headlined.
Yeah.
I remember the last one. I left. It's like he's
I had I've
boring.
only had like one Satch album. I had that Living in the Blue Dream or whatever.
Flying in the Blue Dream.
Yeah.
Flying in the Blue Dream.
Or no, I take that back. I had that one and I had Surfing with the Alien. I did have those two, but I'll take Vi any day of the week over fucking Satch, even though Satch, taught Vi and all this shit. But it comes down to personal taste, just like I'll take.
He also taught Kirk.
Yeah.
He also taught Kirk, so that kind of cancels the other out.
Yeah, exactly. He taught him how to play the wah pedal. But it comes down to personal taste, just like I'll take Jakey Lee over Randy Rhoads. Randy Rhoads is amazing, but I'm just saying my personal taste, I'll take Jakey Lee. That's my ninja right there, Jakey Lee.
That's controversial, Ian. Very controversial of you.
No,
I said something as controversial, and I honestly believe this. My favorite Aussie guitar player is Randy Rhoads, hands down. The greatest because of his compositions. Man, I was hearing the other day on my iPod Shuffle, Goodbye to Romance. That whole song, if you listen to the whole song, Randy's doing a million different notes through, little instrumentation. The guy's a genius. To me, he's the best fucking Aussie guitarist and the second greatest guitar player on my list. But here's the controversial part. Not many will agree with this, but this is how I feel. Jakey Lee is technically a better player than Randy Rhoads. He just can't write as good as Randy. But I think what Jake does,
right? I agree.
Jake does on Barker.
Technique-wise, yeah.
You listen to
Technique-wise, definitely. I play guitar. His riffs are more difficult to play than Randy's. So yes, I concur with you there. It's just the songwriting. Randy had it.
Yeah, listen to Bark at the Moon. Listen to Waiting for Darkness. Listen to Never from Randy did not have the whatever. He wasn't as good, but Randy made up with it. And by the way, Randy wasn't no slouch as far as technical. He was unbelievable. But, I just feel that way.
Technique-wise, Jakey has it.
I feel
I'll give you that. Technique-wise, Jakey Lee all day.
Yeah. Plus, Jakey Lee is a better pilot, than Randy was. A lot of people don't bring that up.
Hey, Ian, that's too soon.
Okay. All right. All right.
Like it's funny if you said Richie Valens wasn't a good.
I get it. It's all about time. Okay, timing. All right. Let's see. Anything else?
Hey, I'll be right there. I'm still gonna have a conversation, but you get to look at my beautiful new chair. All right, yap away.
All right.
So Ian, what shows have you seen? I haven't heard you. I haven't heard the podcast in a couple of months. I have to be honest. So my fault. But what shows have you seen lately up in Seattle, if any?
Last show I saw in Seattle was Uncle Ass and Deadbeats, and yeah, it was a really good show. They were playing, the new album that's a concept like soundtrack type album. Really good. It's hard for me to get to shows here. It's one of those things like, man, so many, I was so spoiled growing up in the Chicago area where every band plays Chicago.
Right.
And then I moved to Florida, and then it's like, okay, it's a crapshoot of who plays Central Florida, who plays Northern Florida, Southern Florida. And then I moved to New Orleans, and so many bands skip New Orleans. And then I get to Seattle, and Seattle's like, it's another, like, everybody plays here, but it's not a number one market. And I work 4/10, so I work Tuesday through Friday, 10-hour shifts. I get up at 3 in the fucking morning. But everybody who plays Seattle, like that I care about, they play like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's fucking terrible
I
because
hear you.
like, like I have to take off 2 days of work to go see a show. Because even like if it was a show like the night I went to work, like I've been up since 3 in the morning. I'm 51 years old. If I get to the show and the headliner doesn't start till 10 o'clock, I'm really like, I'm gonna be fucking asleep.
I hear
So
you.
I miss so
Yeah,
many
that hour
shows
show
here.
that we went to was on a weeknight.
Yeah, I mean, and
That
that's the
hour
fucked up
show we went to
thing.
was on a weeknight, so we don't have worked out.
Yeah, I mean, there's great stuff that comes here, but it's just so I'm so it's like a mix. Like I can't wait to retire, but then again, I'm like, by the time I retire, who the fuck is going to be playing that I want to see anyway? Because like everybody who's younger than me, I could give two fucks about.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know.
That brings it full circle to Cheap Trick. That brings it full circle to Cheap Trick. For me, the reason that I kind of dragged Danny to see them is because I know in a couple of years they're not going to be around. And I
Yeah,
missed out a bunch on seeing Cheap Trick because I became a fan later on because of you guys. So I try to
yeah.
catch them anytime they're within reason.
And my wife wants to go really bad. I think Cheap Trick's played here twice since we've been here. And it just hasn't worked out. But she's like, I want to see Cheap Trick. And I'm like, I get it, honey. I want because she's never seen
You have
them.
to take
I'm
her.
like, I want you to experience this band
You have
because
to take
they're so good. And what I love about them is it's always a different set list. There's always deep cuts, which
it is.
if you're a fan of the band, makes it that much more interesting. I can't stand these like, you see this shit with the Gene Simmons solo tour. Once you see what he
Yeah,
played
yeah.
at the first
Kiss. The
show,
same.
that's what he's playing in the exact same order and all this shit. When you see Cheap Trick, you have no idea. They're gonna mix and match and they're gonna pull out some different shit. And yeah, you're always gonna hear fucking surrender and I want you to want me and blah blah blah. But they're gonna mix it up with some other shit. And it makes all their shows unique. And they're just so fucking good live. And I've never seen him with Dax. So
I'm sure I missed this. Oh, you have to. You have to. I'm sure you guys addressed as well. I missed the episode, but you heard that Tool played the Dominican Republic 3 nights in a row, and all 3 nights were the same set list, and people flew from all over to
yeah,
see them, and they were pissed that they placed the same set list every night. So
yeah,
there you
no,
go.
that's
It's a
terrible. And
band
I
that
thought it's funny because a fan. I mean, there is a lawsuit. There's a fan that sued over this shit, which I find
right. They
funny.
sued them.
But at the same time, though, I get it. If you're an Uber fan and you go to this shit that's supposed to be some major event, and it's copy and paste. And I found it very weird because Tool is one of the last bands that I would ever think would do something like that. I think, I hold Tool in very high esteem, that I think they would present everybody with a unique show, but they didn't. And I think that's fucking horrible. But, bands like Cheap Trick, bands
People
like Blue Oyster
traveling
Cult,
overseas to see them.
yeah, you go see these guys, it's fucking amazing. And I love, like, as much as I fucking hate Eddie Trunk nowadays, I used to be a huge fan, but they did a show where they told Eddie Trunk, you pick the set list, and they gave him, like, you pick 20 songs and we'll do it. And that's the thing about them.
Right.
I love that. What's that?
Another band that I know you're not a fan of again, but another band that I know you're not a fan of, but
Yeah.
I am at least. Pearl Jam. Danny and I went to see them in Georgia like 2 weeks ago. Every set list is different, so that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons that a lot of people just go follow them around. So it's
Oh, yeah.
exciting to see
No,
them.
and
The
I
rare
get that
tracks. They have so many songs to pick on.
Pearl Jam is one of those bands like I have a lot of respect for. I just don't enjoy. And I love all their side projects. Like
I
I'm a
can
huge
respect
fan
them.
of I'm a huge fan of Brad. Mad Season.
Same
You
here.
know,
Awesome band.
all these different.
Free
Eddie
Fish.
Vedder. Eddie Vedder is the guy that I really can't stand. But I still love, like, if you're a fan of that band. Uh, You know what I mean, though? I love that as a fan perspective. You don't know what you're going to get, and I always hated that lame excuse like,
Right.
well, we have to have the light show set up, like Kiss would always say, like, we can't change it because we have all this shit planned. That's because
Smoke
you're doing a
machines.
lame ass choreographed show. You know, you're doing 1, 2, 3, kick, 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, that's
It's like fuck
exactly.
that.
It's
Real musicians,
Broadway.
yeah, and I love that. People like Neil Young, Prince, Jethro Tull is a band that like you never know what they're gonna play. It might not be everybody's bag, but a real musician can throw out whatever at any time, and I respect that. Even though I'm not a big Pearl Jam fan, I respect what they do. You know,
Hey,
and
hey,
then, and
A
then
band that you turned me on, definitely. Ian, I have to thank you. Just like Ralph turned me on to Cheap Trick, you turned me
yeah.
on to the Afghan Wigs, and they're
Oh,
amazing. I've seen them
nice.
a couple of times down here, and they're like that. They're one of those bands that will change up the set list. So
Oh
thank you.
man, really? You discovered Afghan Wigs through? Oh, that makes me so happy,
Through
dude. Because
you,
that
yeah.
band is like, woo! I love that shit.
did they do
Awesome.
did they do that Jane Addiction song where the chick is looking for a way?
Nah,
Jane
no,
says.
no, but no,
I
dude.
invited
That
you
makes
to that show, Ralph.
Huh?
I would have paid you to go to that Jane's Addiction show just to see your reaction.
I remember you asked me. But
Charlie. You like Jane's, right?
well, he just saw them. But
Yeah, the first two records are
Oh,
classics.
I wanted
oh,
I
I
wanted
fucking love Jane's. Never seen them live ever.
he Charlie
Yeah.
asked he'd even buy my ticket to go see him. But unfortunately, that day I painted the house outside, and I wanted to watch it dry.
It wasn't just Jane's. It was this show, Smashing Pumpkins and Jane's. I just wanted to see how you would
Yeah.
react.
Now, see that I'd be like, ugh,
Hey,
because
and you know what? I saw Jane's Addiction back in their height. I saw them at the Bayfront, and the reason I went was because Suicidal was opening. So I saw Suicidal,
Nice.
and I stayed for Jane's Addiction, and I left like halfway through.
see, I was I was that way
Well,
with
lucky you. I don't think we're going to be seeing them again.
I was that way with Smashing Pumpkins. I saw them co-headline tour they did with Manson, and Manson came out first, and was just incredible. In my opinion, was incredible. And then Smashing Pumpkins came out and was one of the most boring bands I've ever like. Fucking Manson puts on his fucking show, then Smashing Pumpkins comes out with like 4 white sheets behind them and plays like all these songs off of albums you've never bought or never heard, and it was fucking horrible. Oh my god, it was
Can I
so
make
bad.
can I make a really terrible confession?
Go ahead.
I auditioned for the Smashing Pumpkins when they fired their guitar player. I sent my demo. I got a note from Billy. No, thank you for your interest, but no. So I did audition for them.
And I don't hate Pumpkins. I want to get that out there. I mean, I like a few songs. Gish, I think, is a fucking amazing album.
It
Uh,
is.
and I even like Adore. I think Adore is a good album.
I love the first 5 records. Yeah.
You know, but
And even the one that I played for Ralph for 3.5 hours, I thought, hey, he has to like something out of this.
which one was that? Was that the?
The Opus.
Yeah, that shit
the
was
one
terrible.
that came out a couple of years ago.
That shit was terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, and Billy is a dick to work with, from what I hear. So I'm glad.
I want to say something and prove Ian wrong of one thing.
Oh,
Yeah, you're gonna have to swallow this humble pie. Ian, that only a true musician changes set list. Well, if that's the case, Ian, explain Motley Crue.
you just pled my case. Motley Crue, get the fuck out of here. I gotta take a piss. I'm gonna talk about this record. Motley Crue.
Speaking of Motley, Right. I saw them with John Five when they played here in Hollywood, and I have to say, I was impressed. He he's a fantastic guitar player. Obviously, he's no Mick Mars, but they sounded better than they have sounded in quite a while. They did that stupid Beastie Boys cover, which
Uh,
people were walking out of. But John Five, respect. You have to respect them.
well, I don't know if you heard. I don't even know the whole story yet, but Tommy Lee just separated with his wife, and
Again,
yeah,
who cares?
I heard two different stories. One story, she left him because he's got a bad drinking problem. Then the other story is she got caught like rapping to some guy online, Ronnie Rapke, whatever his name is. You know what I'm talking about? He's in war with Eddie Trunk
Never
and
heard of him.
because they had to cancel shows because they couldn't find the laptop. So I had to cancel shows. So they went back. Well,
Really?
the rumor is she was like not fucking around on Tommy, but like kind of like setting it up, with him online. Like, they had flirty emails back and forth, and that's why they separated. So I don't. That's just the two things I've heard. And oddly
That's a
enough,
band like you've always said. Go ahead.
no, and oddly enough, Vince Neil is now single for the 100th time.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, that's one band that, like you've always said, like we don't understand how they became so popular. Whereas a band like Cheap Trick, that, for example, this first record blows away anything in combination that Motley has ever done. So why is it that?
Hey,
Is it
hey,
because we're pretty boys?
hey, their first album, is better than what another band's whole discography. Oasis,
There's a bunch of bands.
Oasis.
Oasis. Fuck that
Okay.
Oasis. We'll
I
get
know
into
you're a
that
huge fan,
later.
Ralph.
Did you know, Charlie?
I like their solo stuff better.
I will say this. Um, there's a song on this album we're going to talk about when we get to that song. That song caused somebody to wish me death. A song on this Cheap Trick album. Eventually, the guy ended wishing me death because what I said about that song. I didn't say nothing to him. I
Oh, I
said
have to
something about
guess
the
that.
song, and he ended up saying, "I hope he died."
But there's a song on a Bang Tango album that got you wished death upon. So, I
Not
see a pattern.
Lincoln Park. You're the Bang Tango.
Yeah, you said you like that one Linkin Park song, and I said, fucking die.
I do. There's a Lincoln Park song I fucking love.
Oh, this motherfucker. All right, well, fuck this. Yeah, and fuck the news. Nothing new going on. But what we really need to know about is Charlie Hill. Oh, he's got to pee? Okay.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, we'll let him pee. How you doing, Ralph? So what the fuck? When are you moving into this goddamn house?
All right, here's the latest update. It should be very soon.
Is
What-
it still the fucking lawn? Why you can't move in?
No, the lawn, no. And by the way, the lawn's almost done. They just got to do the front yard. But what happened was they came to my house for the final inspection.
Mm-hmm.
Past this, I'm in. Something was wrong with my impeccable, perfect driveway. And it had nothing to do with how my driveway looked. It had something to do with, I don't know, some mumbo jumbo red tape crap with the driveway. Then they come back for a final inspection, driveway's fine. But then they said, hey, we told you had to plant trees in the house.
What?
And my brother said, wait a second. I knew this. And I talked to you guys about the trees. And you said to me, don't worry about it. Well, now my brother just planted the trees. So hopefully they'll be here tomorrow, see the trees, and there's nothing else they can do.
What the fuck? A palm tree? What do you gotta have?
No, a regular tree. It's already planted, and I have to put the hose on it for 15 minutes. 4 trees.
Jesus Christ.
So then I'll be able to move in. But like every time we've been doing shows and my YouTube channel, I do this, and I get the fuck out of here. But
Uh,
it'll be soon. It should be soon because I can't see them say no now where we planted the trees they wanted. You know, we got the brand of tree they wanted. We put them exactly where they wanted it. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow I'll be sleeping here finally.
Yeah. And by the time you fucking move in, ICE will send you right back to fucking Cuba. It's terrible. It's terrible. What a world we live in.
You know what sucks? Charlie Hill once bought me a
A
welcome
one-way ticket to Cuba?
welcome mat. A
Oh,
welcome mat. I'm not
That's
Jewish.
right.
He got, Charlie got me a welcome mat that looks like the rug in the movie The Shining at the Overlook Hotel.
The Overlook. Yeah.
nice.
I can't find it, man. I've been looking everywhere. So I went on Amazon.
I'll send you a new one.
No, I already did it. I went on Amazon today and ordered two, one for the backyard, one for front. It's just a cool welcome mat with, and I saw on Amazon they got big ones. So I plan on putting a big one in my right here in my music room down there. Yeah, the Shining Room, and so does Doctor Sleep.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we got Charlie back, and Ralph, we've done many Cheap Trick episodes. In fact, when you sent me this one, you're like, have we done this one yet? I had to do a fucking Google search. And we've done In Color through, I think, All Shook Up, plus we did the 97 Cheap Trick album. But we did not do this one.
We did the last. We did the last one too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. We did that terrible album.
That's a great album.
That's a shit album. But anyway, but yeah, when I found out we didn't do this, I was like, fuck yeah. And I was like, you know what? We got to get Charlie Hill involved in this. So Charlie, kind of go in depth about, how you discovered this band through Ralph and like, the path you've taken and why you've become the super fan that you've become of this band.
Wow. Again, I was a casual listener, a casual fan. I grew up in Puerto Rico for the first 17 years of my life. So I had Lap of Luxury, and that was my first real exposure. I had the cassette. I liked it, because they did the Top Gun Mighty Wings. I was a fan of that. At 11 years old, I was a fan of that shit. Awesome. So I liked Lap of Luxury, and I liked, the radio singles. But after that, I knew nothing about Cheap Trick. So to me, they were always like this happy-go-lucky band. And then I one night I'm just on YouTube and I find Almost Human, the Kiss shit, and then I, suggestions, Cheap Trick, and one of those great videos that Ralph did with all the compilation of their history. I fell into it. I was like, okay, let me give them a listen because he was saying great things about them. And the first record that I heard was this one, the first record. And holy shit, I was not ready for this because you go from listening to I Want You to Want Me with the little girl screaming in the background to this heavy Hello Kitties. And the next one, Daddy Should Have Stayed in High School. It's like, where the fuck is this coming from? Dark material. And I fell hook and sinker. I fell. This is my favorite band. It became immediately my favorite band after this and Heaven Tonight have to be my top records of theirs. I am a fan for life. It's one of those bands that it almost hurts how much you love them. I don't know if you can relate, but it's like I love them so much that yeah, they're my band. They became my band thanks to Ralph. And I saw them. I had seen them, like I said, in 1997, open for Motley Crue. And I was like, okay, cool. Then I saw them again open for Heart in one of those tours in 2016. Then 2007, I got a chance to meet them because Ralph had already turned me on to them. They were opening up for Poison, unfortunately. But I got to meet them, and I sent the picture that I had taken with the band to Ralph saying, hey, by the way, thank you for turning me on to this band, because without you, I wouldn't have my current favorite band. I grew up, in the 90s, so every band that I like was, the grunge, depressing, sludge band. Alice in Chains would be my second favorite band, so you get an idea that that's kind of like the vibe that was in. Cheap Trick, their vibe is so ah, energetic and not positive, but it's like you just want to rock out to them. So I honestly I think I've become a better human being all around because of them. And every chance I get, whenever they're nearby, I follow them. I'll wait outside, get shit signed. I got Budokan signed by them last time we saw them
Wow.
at St. Petersburg. They are hella cool. They are so humble, down to earth. I would still love to meet Bunny Carlos, but that's gonna be a challenge. But yes, I this
Go to
band
Chicago.
in my late 30s changed. They are such a great band, and again, Ralph, I can't thank you enough because at that point I was listening to, I don't know, Radiohead, shit like that. But you opened my ears.
Killer,
I
man.
can't say enough.
Well,
I I met
I,
I met Bunny Carlos 3 times. All 3 times he was a complete prick.
wow,
Yeah,
really?
you told me it was a dick, but hey, he has a
Three
right to be a dick.
3 times. I can understand 1 time, possibly 2. You're having a bad day, but after 3 times, like, oh man, I'm not fucking. I'm not gonna deal with this idiot. Dude, it was one time.
He's getting paid to not do anything.
I'm like screaming, Bunny, and he just walks. Oh,
Yeah, that
yeah.
sucks.
There's a lot of people that still don't understand why he's out of the band. Like I do post some videos of them on our YouTube page, and it's like, what happened to Bunny? What happened to Bunny? It's been 15 years since he's been out of the band, and they still don't know who this Dax guy is, who the other guitarist is. And hey, people move
Well,
on. If Bunny was still in the band, I don't think they'd be touring this much. They wouldn't be recording this much.
Well,
So it's a blessing in disguise.
the thing with Bunny Carlos, he couldn't play over 70 minutes. And after
Right.
that point is where they really threw out the deep tracks. And they play like 90 minutes or more. And they throw out just deep fucking tracks.
But
Or with Bunny they did, but
Ralph, let me ask you, was it really?
huh?
Let me ask you because I heard the rift was between him and Robin. Something about Bunny said something about his daughter.
Yeah.
That's where it originated.
That's what I heard. And it came to a point where it's either Robin or me. He gave the ultimatum and they picked Robin.
Can you
But
imagine if they have kept Bunny? People will be talking shit with Robin. Who's going to replace Robin?
exactly. As essential as Bunny is, Robin is more essential for the band.
oh yeah. I mean, could you imagine they keep Bunny and then they get Sammy Hagar? That'd be fucking terrible.
Don't even care about that.
I knew you were going to say it.
I know, but it'd be fucking terrible. But I'm one of those, like, I'm hopeful for, like,
They would have gone Jesse Pearl.
I hope there's, like, at some point there's going to be like, okay, we're done. And I hope it's in Rockford, Illinois. And, I hope Bunny's part of it. I really do. But that being said, I love the energy that Dax has brought to the band. He's an incredible drummer. Yes, Bunny is missed, but yeah, you can do longer shows with Dax. I love the set list they've done with Dax. I've seen them both with Bunny and with Dax, and they've both been amazing shows. Do I wish every show was with Bunny? Yes, but if the choice is like no Cheap Trick or Cheap Trick with Dax, I'll take it with Dax any day of the week.
Exactly.
It's just they're an amazing band, and it's one of those. I've told the story 1,000 times on this show about me watching Ray Davies from the Kinks with Tom Peterson and Rick Nielsen. But it's one of those highlights of my life. Like, wow, that is one of the, like, holy shit moments, like hanging out with these guys, and I never got that moment with Robin Zander. He kind of like, Bunny wasn't there, but this band means so much to me, and kind of like, what Charlie says is I came onto this band, I knew the hits, but the first album I bought was Lap Luxury. And I liked it for what it was. You know, it's like, I still love The Flame. I don't give a fuck. I think The Flame is a great
Yeah,
song.
same here.
You
Yeah.
know,
Same
I
here.
love it. But as a
Rarities.
Cheap Trick album, it's not that good. You know, not that
At
great.
all.
Yeah. Tom's Back and all this
Product of
stuff.
its
It's
time.
not that great. But it's better than Busted, which tells you how horrible Busted is.
Yeah.
But then I would go
I
back.
wasn't sure what review today, so I listened to Busted just in case it was that one, because that's the last record that I'm familiar with. I wasn't sure it was going to be this record, so I listened to it like, oh my God, I really hope it's not Busted. But yeah, thank you for picking.
Oh yeah, that shit's terrible. That shit's terrible. But no, I went back and and then it was like this weird connection. Like I'm from Illinois, they're from Illinois, and my dad knew these guys. When my dad moved to California, they moved to California. My dad lived in the same apartment building that said was it Xander and Nielsen? No, I'm sorry, Xander and was it Xander and Peterson?
BB.
Was it BB? I don't know. Anyway, they lived in an apartment in the same apartment complex as my father, and they just met up. And this is before Budokan broke, so they were just guys from Chicago that lived in California, and they became friends because, like, hey, we know all the same spots, we know all this shit, And my dad's like, wow, and these guys made it big. I remember
you telling that story. That's awesome.
Yeah. And but man, the more I got into this band, it's like, fuck, how good they are. And the songwriting, the singing, the guitar playing, it's a shame that they're not more well respected. But in another way, it doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Because the people who get it, get it. And that means more than anything else. It means more than record sales. I was looking at record sales earlier, and I was like, wow. For a band this legendary to have that shitty of record sales, but it doesn't matter because this is songs that stand the test of time. And there's a reason that
Agreed 100%.
People still talk about them. And if you look at other bands, other musicians, whether they're musicians from bands you like or not, musicians from all other genres worship this band and love what they do and love what they've brought to the table. It's just fucking incredible.
I've always considered Cheap Trick to be like if John Lennon and Pete Townsend were to jam together, it'd probably sound like them.
Yeah, that's a great analogy because they have that harmony and that songwriting ship of the Beatles, but they do have the power of the Who, with that Pete and the mix of that, and especially with the classic lineup. And they drifted a little bit, in the 80s. They were kind of like second to Kenny Loggins of like, hey, you got a soundtrack? We'll be on that, But with Tom Peterson in the band and stuff, it's just a whole nother dimension. But they did some great songs without Tom Peterson too. And they've done some great songs without Bunny Carlos. But, I mean, Robin Zander's voice, fucking Rick Nielsen's guitar, and those Beatle-esque fucking harmonies, and it's just fucking amazing. There's so many bands that would come after them that are power pop, but to me, the ultimate power pop band will always be Cheap Trick.
Yeah,
Often imitated
bands that you talk about, they're all cheesy. To me, Cheap Trick are not cheesy. They're the anti-cheese. They're the cool alternative, dark neighbor to that cheesy pop.
Right.
It's all because of Rick Nielsen to me.
I want to plug this. I was listening to this today.
Fantastic.
This is a record store.
Better than Budokan.
I would say,
I'll say it, better than Budokan.
Greatest live recording Cheap Trick has ever been captured.
Which one's that?
This is Live at the Whiskey in 1977. And I also
I have that, yeah.
I also have this, which is They didn't release it on vinyl, which doesn't matter because CDs rule. This is all the 4 nights they played the whiskey.
Yeah, I have that too.
So this is like a compilation, but and I gotta say, man, listening to this today, dude, not only Robin and Rick, man, but the bass lines that Tom Peterson did and the precise Buddy Rich type drumming of Bunny Carlos.
Bunny steal the show for that for me.
That was
Bunny's amazing in that show.
yeah. I admit, Bunny is the VIP on the show. Everybody's top notch on it, but his drumming on that with those whiskey, all 4 shows. God damn, what a drummer! Dax is in the school of Bunny. He can pull it off, but Bunny had that little finesse. And I'm talking about back then. Later on, he was still great, but he had health issues. So he was playing as good as that. But
Bunny's a jazz drummer.
Hey,
He's a jazz drummer coming. Imagine playing jazz to Rick Nielsen, who's playing those Pete Townsend chords, and Tom Peterson playing the 12 string, and very interesting counter melodies on top of that. And then you have Robin, who sings like an angel 1 second and then like a demon the next. It's just chemistry. The chemistry of those 4 guys, it's unparalleled. I can't think of another band that's so different personalities within the 4 of them, and they all mesh up so well.
you're right.
Well, go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay. No, I would just say like drummers of that era, and my father was a drummer from that era. And it's what they drew from. I think that's so amazing. Because they drew from like Gene Krupa, and Buddy Rich and stuff like that. And then added their own touch. And even as much as I shit on fucking Peter Criss, but you go back and listen to that, you hear that in his drumming. There's like a bygone era that really like never leaves, but it may not be popular now. But those guys, like, people like my dad's age who grew up in the 50s, they listened to those drummers and they added it to their like whatever they became. It was part of their lexicon though. It was part of their like how they developed their sound. And there was that mix of that with the rock and roll, with the Charlie Watts and shit like that, but you had that jazz background influence that is missing from so much shit, but it gave all this music that swing, that feel to it, that, and that was, I remember when I first got into metal, like my biggest thing with thrash, I had such a hard time with was not only the singing, but the drumming. Because the drum was like, ba, 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 and it didn't have that swing. It didn't have that flow. And as I grew up, of course, I love like that thrash drumming, but it took me a while because I grew up with that swing, that, the arms going, that jazz influence, that little bit of something, something that had 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future.
1 foot, 1 foot in the gutter and 1 fist in the gold.
You goddamn right, Ricky Rackman. But I mean, to me, that perfectly sums up Bunny and his style of drumming, because you had that like what's happening now, but what happened in the past. And I don't know, it just, to me, it's a much more satisfying sound. That's why my favorite drummer of all time is Bill Ward. And my number 2 drummer is Stuart Copeland. Now, Stuart Copeland is light years ahead of Bill Ward. You know what I mean? Like light years ahead of like with what he does. But there's something about Bill Ward. Yeah, but Bill Ward's mixture, that jazz, that jazziness and that timing, and it's loose and it's free and it breathes. It's not like.
Not
it's
flashy
not
for the flash sake. It's tasteful.
Yeah. And then that's, you get that out of Bunny too. I mean, even though it's a different style of drum, but you still have that like, you know,
So
it's
when did
like
you get turned on to
timeless.
Cheap Trick, Ian? When did you first see them? When did you get turned on to them? Around the same time? Up the Creek, Lap of Luxury? It's right around
Well,
the same.
I had known like the radio hits, growing up, you know. I'm a couple years older than you, so I knew like the radio hits. When they really came on my register, though, was Lap of Luxury, like I said, and
Mighty Wings.
my dad's like, I know these guys. He goes, we lived in the same, my dad's telling me all this shit. He's like, yeah, they're from fucking Rockford, you know. Um, but it was a few years after that when I really got into like I need to check this band out. The first time I saw him was in the late 90s. And I talked about this on the show. I was so like much like my first Bloister Cult show, my first uh, Cheap Trick show was like late 90s House of Blues in Orlando. And that's the one where I was drunk as fuck because I'm so excited. I'm like, I'm going to see Cheap Trick. And that's when I kept screaming Avita Zane and Rick Nielsen.
Let me ask you, Ian, were you expecting a fluff, happy band? Like, when you hear I Want You to Want Me, you
No,
think,
no,
oh,
no,
there's,
no, no.
yeah,
Because by the time I saw him, I knew all the past catalog. And that's
okay.
what I was like. I was like,
Yeah.
I know what I'm
I
in for.
I had never heard of Peterson until like I discovered it through you guys. So yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know that side of the band. I expected it to all be like I Want You to Want Me, Surrender, and all that. And that's all good for what it is, but it doesn't have the substance of the
Oh
other
yeah.
material.
No,
Like
I knew what they were capable of, and like I said, that's why I was screaming Avita Zane. I'm like, I want to hear this heavy shit. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm in my late 20s. I'm a metal guy. I'm like, yeah. But I knew that they walked that fine line between garage rock and Beatlesque, and they did it so effortlessly. I mean, it was just what they did. So many bands name check Cheap Trick, and you can see why because they not only they borrow from this and they borrow from that, but they have their own thing, and that's any power pop band worth their salt name checks them because they
Would
know
you
this band knows what to
would you call
do.
them the American Beatles?
Um, yeah, yeah, I would because
The
they
American
have.
Who? To me,
Well,
the
not no,
American Who or the American Beatles.
I would call them more the American Beatles than I would the American Who, um,
I would,
because of the songwriting aspect. I mean, these guys have the melodies, and I think that's what stands the test of time. Is these songs have
But
the
Only Robin does all those melodies. Whereas with the
yeah.
Beatles, be all four of them.
Yeah, but he can do anything. I mean, Robin can sing any part of. I mean, this motherfucker can sing the phone book. He really is that talented. But you
He still
also have
can.
the songwriting ability of Tom Peterson and Rick Nielsen. That they have the musicality to back it up. You have this voice that is ungodly. I mean, just fucking oh my god, and he's never lost it. He's never lost that voice. He's still just as powerful today as he
I can
was
attest to
on
that.
the album we're talking about today. And I've seen him multiple times. It's been far too long since I've seen him, but I mean it's just they have the songs, the musicality, they have everything. And it is sad that they're not as big as they should be, and they could be. I'm even looking like when I was looking up this, I was looking at the sales, and it's
But
like,
doesn't that make you love them more because they are such underdogs? They are so underappreciated.
oh
To
yeah,
me, at
no,
least, it makes me love them even more.
yeah, no, that's a great thing, and that's a great thing about music. Like if you stick to your guns long enough, you get respected. The same thing with Motorhead, is one of those. They went through times when they were popular and times when they sold records and times when but they stayed the course.
Yeah, they
Cheap
never
Trick has
sold
always
out.
stayed the course for the most part. They've
But
had like flirtations with, cheesy eras, but for the most
oh
part,
yeah,
they've always been Cheap Trick. But if you keep doing it long enough, you get that respect and people come along to what you're doing. you know. And I have even more respect when you do that because it's easy to sell out. It's easy, like, well, what I'm doing's not working anymore. I'm gonna do this because this is what's in, the flavor of the month.
Kiss.
Yeah, Kiss, Alice Cooper. I mean, there's a million bands you could name, but Cheap Trick kind of always stayed Cheap Trick. And then if you stuck around long enough, Cheap Trick became cool again. You know, and that's what I love about them. They're just fucking amazing.
I will say I disagree. I do not think they're the American Beatles. I think they are the American Oasis.
Oh, oh, ow, ow. Apparently, Ralph doesn't like Cheap Trick.
Yeah, Oasis all the way. Cheap Trick plays Ribfest. That makes them not good. You know? I only like shit that plays stadiums. Taylor Swift, bitch.
I'll tell you, I love all this shit. There's been a lot of people, and we're not talking about like one ex-psycho member that wants to kill Ralph. But all these people going about like Oasis, like, oh, Cheap Trick plays this, but Oasis does that. But what they don't remember is when Oasis didn't go away for fucking 20 years, they were doing co-headline tours with the Black Crowes when the Black Crowes weren't even selling anymore.
And let me tell you from experience, I saw Oasis during those years. They played Pompano Beach Amphitheater, which is a tiny amphitheater. Tiny. And this was toward the end before they broke up. Before they broke up, they were not big anymore.
Yeah, nobody gave a shit.
Yeah, and for them being away too long, they got amazing managers or promoters that has done a bang-up job to get Oasis not only to reunite and play stadiums, but to play stadiums in America. That's amazing work because it's all hype. Dude, you want to talk about Oasis and Cheap Trick as far as radio goes? You don't hear Oasis on the radio down here. You'll hear I Want You to Want Me, Surrender, and Dream Police, and Ain't That a Shame. I don't, and if they do, it's probably Wonderwall, one song.
Yeah.
Cheap Trick is scientifically better than Oasis.
Yes.
And I am an Oasis fan, proud Oasis fan, though I only think they made one album with no filler. Every other album has filler, but also brilliant tracks. But anything they did come close to this, get the fuck out of here.
Well, like Charlie Hill said a lot of times, like, if you like Sammy Hagar, fuck you, die. And that's what I love about Charlie. But Charlie, god damn it.
I have to say I've never seen Sammy live, and I would never will.
Oh God. Is it possible for you to look more attractive than you do right now? No. Then you just said that.
He's more attractive.
I'm drinking the Black Sabbath piss water beer that I gave
oh my God.
Cheers,
I'm drinking Corona. God damn it, Charlie, I love you. All right, come to Seattle. I'm going to give you my phone number. Call my phone number this time. Don't leave me a message.
I'll stalk you like I stalk Ralph.
All right. But no, seriously, when Ralph said, let's do this, I was like, we got to get Charlie Hill on this fucking episode, man. We got to. I mean, I don't know how many episodes we've done for you that you paid for. I mean, like, fuck it. We got to have him on the goddamn show.
It's been a couple.
Check it out. Black Sabbath beer Charlie gave me. Iron Man. Look.
There you go. You haven't tried it, though.
No,
it's not too bad.
I can't drink. I'll turn into Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie. He got me Black Sabbath beer, bro.
All right. Well, one thing I will say, I'm going to let Charlie take the first track, but one thing I noticed when I was doing this blew my fucking mind because I've always stuck by, like, my favorite fucking Cheap Trick is the first album through Dream Police. I'm like, those are fucking masterpieces.
Perfect.
And I was always like, my least favorite, though, if I had to pick one out of those three, would be Heaven Tonight, even though I love Heaven Tonight. Um, but I was like, and then I was listening to this one today, and I was like, I don't know if I like, I'm like, I might like Heaven Tonight better than this. And I realized because for the last 20 years, I've been listening to music digitally, like stuff I've had download. Like I don't have a CD player right now. I'm getting ready to buy a new stereo system. I've been listening to everything off of what I have off the computer. And I realized that my digital copy of the first Cheap Trick album had side 1 and 2 reversed. And it totally changed how I listened to this album. And I was like, fuck. Maybe I like Heaven Tonight better than fucking the first album, even though there's songs in the first album that, I think are greater than anything on the others, but I was like, the flow of the album, like, I might like Heaven Tonight better. And then when I'm doing research and I'm writing my notes, I was like, wait a minute, that's the first song? That's the song I thought should be the first song, but I realized my copy was fucked up. It had side 1 and side 2 reversed.
So you started with Hot Love instead of Yellow Kitties.
It's side 1 and side A.
Right. No, but so on the digital copy that I had, it started with Hello Kitties. And it changed how I looked at the album. It really did. I'm surprised how the flow of it, when I sat there and listened to one, track 1 through 10, it really threw me off. And I was like, okay, well, this song is the greatest ever, but does it flow as well as Heaven Tonight? And then I realized I had it wrong. And then I listened to it in the proper set list era, and I'm like, no, okay, this is why I love this fucking album. So I was totally fucked up.
But who says what is the proper order for it?
Well,
it's up to us.
Here's the problem. I bought this in the 70s. I've lived with this album forever. It's side 1 and side A. Now, the Hot Love makes it.
It's the first one.
It makes it look like it's the first song on the album.
Interesting.
But then they released this. And this starts with Hello Kitties.
Right. And that's where my shit got fucked up.
And I always thought that. I always thought, you know what? I think this album is meant to start as Hello Kitties. And they got the placement wrong. Even though it's side 1, it says here, and side A, they put Hot Love first. And then the second section is Hello Kitties, which makes it look like it's the first song on the second side. But no, it's the perfect opening. But here's the other thing. Hot Love is so badass. It's hard to complain how it's opening the album. It's just such a badass, raucous, crazy song that, it is a great opener. But I think Hello Kitties is a better opener.
See, I disagree. I disagree because I'm sitting there listening to it with my digital version that I have on my phone, and I'm driving around the car doing shit today, and it starts off with the Hello Kitties, and I'm listening to it, and then when Hot Love comes on, I was like, this is what should have opened the album. Little did I know that I've been listening to it wrong for the last 20 years.
Actually, you were listening to it like I was listening to it till this CD came out, which was 20 years later. For 20 years, I always thought Hot Love opened the album.
Okay, but honestly, is there a better way to end a record than the gunshot that you hear at the end of TV Violence? That to me is the perfect way to end the fucking record.
I disagree.
I
disagree.
So what's the last song? Oh Candy would be the last song in your order. Is that really the end song for you?
Oh Candy is not a better closer than TV Violence.
TV Violence? Come on.
All right. Well, we'll get into that. I think I might disagree. But
Subjective.
Okay, just so for for prosperity's purpose here, what are we going with as the opener as we review this?
Let's go with
Hot Love?
Hello Kitty.
Oh, wow. Well, that just totally fucked up my notes.
All right,
Okay, so
no. Let's go with Hot Love.
are you okay with that, Charlie?
I'm fine. It twisted around for me, but I'm fine.
Okay.
I'll get all nostalgic because that's how I grew up with the album, with Hot Love opening it.
Okay. Well, let me get to that before we get into it. So, Charlie, what are you used to opening up this album? Hot Love or
Hello
Hello
Kitties. Hello Kitties
Okay.
for sure.
Okay, so you were suffering in the same thing I was. Okay. Interesting.
It
Because
builds, whereas Hello Hot Love comes in and kicks you in the ass right away. Hello Kitties builds, to me, a record should build to a crescendo.
Okay. All right. Well, you go first, Hello Kitty. I'm sorry, Hot Love. That's how we're
Hot
gonna do it.
Love, they still play it. I've seen them play it a bunch of times in the last couple of years. That they still do that song. It still fucking kills. It's one of the most up-tempo songs on the record, that and He's a Whore. So it works. It works either way. The lyrics work. It's about fucking, basically. Most of the record is either you'll see a pattern. Each song is either about fucking, prostitution, addiction, depression, suicide. This is the darkest Cheap Trick record there is, with the exception of maybe Mandocello. Everything else is dark as hell, and you don't know where the fuck this is coming from, especially from the era 1977. So, time and place, you put yourself there. When what else is sounding like this at that time? Mind blowing to me.
All right. Well, Ralph's gone, so I'll take it. What an opener. This would cause the twins from fucking Oasis's tampons to ignite, catching their cardigan sweaters on fire. This is power pop for American men. I love this. Makes Man of War sound like the fucking Spice Girls.
Hey,
Holy shit.
Agreed.
Do I love this song? This is fucking and
The times
this
I've
was
seen
one
them,
like what's that?
I'm sorry. The times I've seen them recently, they play this as their third song in the set, and it picks up. It's inevitable to see them go from there to something slow. They have to keep going that tempo.
And this is one like I don't know. I gotta think. I've seen Cheap Trick probably 5 times. I haven't seen him since probably 2018 or 19. So I don't know, man. And I partied a lot. I mean, that's a lot of drugs and a lot of drinking. So I don't know if I've seen him play this. But as I'm listening to this, that's a funny thing. It's a tale of this afternoon. I started out listening to it with the other track listing. And I'm like, eh. And then when Hot Love comes on, I'm like, this should have opened up the album. And then when I found out it did, I was like, fuck. So I changed it. I went into my iTunes and I changed it. And I deleted off my phone. And then I put the proper sequence in. And then put it back on my phone. I'm like, God damn it. This song kicks ass. I mean, this is fucking... it's just what a way to start off an album. To me, there's no other song that should kick off this album than Hot Love. I mean, it's fucking just amazing. And kick ass and Cheap Trick to the core. What do you think, Ralph?
well, like I said earlier, it's a great opener. It'd be great to open any other album that didn't have Hello Kitties on it. It's just a rocket song, man. There's such a loose feel. What Jack Douglas did with Cheap Trick, he never did it again. And he did some crappy, well, not crappy, but, well, yeah, he did Next Position. No, is it Next? No, not Next. Stand on the Edge.
No.
And at the time of
Can you
him,
imagine in color with Jack Douglas?
it would have been great. It would have been awesome. But anyway, yeah, it's just ripping. See, the thing about this album, though, if you switch if you put Hello Kitties first and then let it run to Old Candy, and then put Hot Love on side 2, and let it run to TV Violence, that would be perfect. I don't think any other song should change on the album except for the first and the final song. The final song should be TV Violence. First song should be Hello Kitties. But my God, this song, Hot Love. And they didn't play it till I saw, believe it or not, I saw them first play this with John Bryant. And I think it was Standing on the Edge. That either that or Next Position, Please. They played Hot Love that night, and I was like, oh shit. I love that song, man. It's great. Did you
They're still doing it. The last couple of shows we've seen, they've been doing that.
The last show I saw them at the Hard Rock, where I saw you and Daniela, they played. They did play it that night.
Well, I will say this, not to cut you off, but the first time it was played was August 15th, 1975 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
My birthday.
The last time it was played was April 25th of this year. But they played it in 1978. They did not play it again until 1987.
That's when No,
right.
No, they did it with John Bryan. Tom Peterson was back in 87. Unless it was right before Tom Peterson joined.
It could have been. They played it, 3 times in 87. They played it 9 times in 88. And they played it 2 times in 89. And then they didn't play it again until 96. And then they played it from 96 through 2005. And then they played again until 2011. And since 2011, it's been kind of a mainstay in the set list.
Rightfully so. It's an amazing song. I'm not saying nothing bad about it because of Hello Kitties. It would have been an amazing opening track for any album that didn't have that. All right, then you don't even have to tell me. Hot Love goes into Speak Now, Forever Hold Your Peace. The opening of Over the Edge. What a great tune for that movie. And again, Tom Peterson. I got this amazing show from Germany. Charlie, if you don't have it, I'll mail it to you. Because it's actually a raw feed of it. They did a TV show, but this one's the whole show. And they start with Speak Now, and it is the greatest version of that song ever. Written by the guy that Jimmy Page wanted to join Led Zeppelin, Terry Reid.
And they wanted to join Deep Purple.
Yeah, you're right. You are correct, sir. Rockin' Rexor. What a great cover. I heard the Terry version, and it's not bad, but not the Cheap Trick version, man. It's so much better. Another great, amazing harmonies, the way that Robin sings that yesterday with that. It's just that Cheap Trick has this unique sound that it's scrappy. It's not perfect. It's scrappy. It's just pure, a pure, nothing.
To me, it sneaks up on you in a way. You're not expecting Robin to sound so angelic in a way. It's like garage rock meets.
And how the band plays, the scrappy nature of it. It's not like this, just perfection. It has to be perfect, picture perfect and shit. It's raw and so human. They've never recaptured this ever. Jack Douglas, man. Fucking Jack Douglas during that time with Aerosmith and Cheap Trick and Ted Nugent. No, that was Tom Warman, right? And Tom Warman has said, I've heard Tom Warman interviews. He said there's not a better band to record than Cheap Trick. No one.
Did you read his book?
No.
I got that book and I sent it to Ken Mills. Shout out to Ken. He said that of all the bands he's worked with, Cheap Trick were the easiest band to work with because they didn't need to do several takes with them.
They would nail it in a take or two. You know, Bunny Carlos says he's the greatest drummer that he's ever worked with. And
And Robin also.
Trainer, the freak, he always does a one take thing, you know, and he just praised the hell out of him. But yeah, going back to Speak Now, Forever Hold Your Peace, damn better than any Oasis song I've ever heard.
What's your pug's name, Charlie?
Sorg. Like,
Sorg.
did you ever see The Fifth Element, the villain Gary Oldman plays?
No, I've never seen that movie.
Zorg Emmanuel Sorg. That's my pug.
He's so
My
damn
best
cute.
friend. Thank you. If I had a kid, it would look like him.
Aww.
Oh, by the way, talking about kids, my niece just had a baby, right? And I'm not lying to you by saying this. I went to go see the baby, and when I walked in, the baby there, his eyes are open, and he's looking at me, and his hand is like this. I swear to God, like doing the horns, and I had to grab my camera. I got a picture. One day old, the kid's metal already. Xavier, welcome to the world. I'm his great. Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, enjoy that moment because ICE is going to send that baby right back home soon.
He says that because I'm Hispanic and he's a racist Democrat.
Yeah, I'm just saying, won't be here too long.
Well, Charlie, what do you think now?
I've never heard the original version of it, but I don't know if I like the second song on the record being a cover. So that's why I still like Daddy Should Have Stayed in High School. That's the second track. To me, that's the order of the record. But to each their own. I guess your version is different than mine.
All right.
I love this fucking song. And to me, it will always remind me of Over the Edge. Anytime I hear this, Over the Edge.
I've never seen that movie. I have to see it.
Oh
It's not
my
streaming
God.
anywhere.
Oh my
How have you
God.
never seen Over the
Anymore.
Edge?
I've never seen it, and I hate myself for it.
Dude,
It's
as
not
much
streaming.
shit as you fucking buy and as many places as you go
I
on,
know.
get the Arrow
I
version
know.
of Over the Edge.
I hate myself.
That movie is full of Cheap Trick songs.
Yes.
I have to see it. I know because of you guys.
Incredible movie. But anyway, so when I hear this, I think of Over the Edge, but then I also think about when I saw Terry Reid live. And I got to give a shout out to fucking Rio Hackford, who's no longer with us, my friend Rio. It was his birthday, man. This guy was a huge Cheap Trick fan. And in fact, he wanted Cheap Trick to play his birthday. But he couldn't afford it. And this is Tyler Hackford's son, the famous movie director. Tyler Hackford directed, Officer and a Gentleman, Ray, all kinds of shit.
Against the Odds. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was friends with his son, Rio. So he had fucking Terry Reid flown into New Orleans for his birthday. And I'll never forget when he started playing this. I was so fucking drunk. I was so wasted. I'm like, Cheap Trick, he's playing Cheap Trick. And I knew that Terry Reid wrote the song, but like my drunk brain wasn't working right. He goes, no, you asshole. He wrote the song. I'm like, I know that, but God damn it. But when I saw Terry Reid play this live, I was like, fuck, all I'm thinking about is Cheap Trick. God damn it. Love.
Do we know why they covered this song in particular? I don't know the history behind it.
I think it was their love for early British bands. I mean, they even go to like Hello Kitties. It's like, is it a pun on like the British, like the way they say
Gary Glitter? I was
like,
going to mention
hello.
That's
or was it ELO? Because Roy Wood,
Yeah.
who was an original member of ELO, they covered his shit. They were very, Cheap Trick is very much, they love their British late 60s rock and roll, early 70s rock and roll. but I mean, it's just if you've heard those early Terry Reid albums, and a lot of people nowadays know him because, there's a couple of songs that were played on in Rob Zombie movies, and it's come out years later that he was the original pick for Zeppelin um, for
That's
fucking
right.
Deep Purple. I mean Terry, and I mean I saw this guy live. Holy fuck, can this motherfucker sing? You know. But I mean, it makes sense if you're an Anglophile like I am. I mean, I love English movies, English music, English, television shows. I'm all about that, and it seems like Cheap Trick was as well, or particularly Rick Nielsen, who at this point is the majority songwriter. All this shit is like Rick Nielsen shit. So he's much like me. Like I was raised on English blues, because of my dad. And by English blues, I mean like Cream and Savoy Brown and Fleetwood Mac, like old Fleetwood Mac. You know what I mean? Um, and I think Rick Nielsen is kind of from that same ilk. That's the shit he grew up on. And I love this one. And I think it's a great, like, 1-2 punch, you know? And like I said, for years I've been listening to the same version you have, Charlie, but it wasn't sitting right. And then when I realized I was doing it wrong, it's like, wow, everything's making sense now because you go to Hot Love to this fucking song, and I'm like, God damn that, that just that like chug and that fucking awesomeness. Uh, love
It's all
this fucking.
subjective. We don't know what the right order is, right? It's all up to the listener. Has the
Well,
band ever said,
I
"Hey,
mean,
this is the right opener for the band"?
I
Record?
wouldn't say it's what's up to the listener. I'd say it's what up to the version that you were given. Because, if you were an old school Cheap Trick fan, it started with Hot Love. If you were the guy that, like, I came along with when they remastered this on CD, then it's the other one, you know?
Right. I
Exactly.
know
And,
what you're saying.
it's what's Ralph's holding up. And it's one of those things like I've been listening to this shit for 20 years wrong because I have the CD with the right list with the right track listing. I have the vinyl, but what do I listen to more? I listen to what I take off my computer and I load it on my phone. You
So
know.
again, the last song for you on this record is "Oh Candy," right? Whereas for me, it's
Well,
"TV
it is
Vinyl."
not. It is now. It is now. But I mean, I don't want to get into spoilers. I think this album's better when it ends with "Oh Candy" than it is the other one. But that's
And I'll
just me.
say "TV Old Candy" is the most pop song on the whole record. To me, that's the most radio friendly song. So if it ends that way, cool. But to me, ending with a shotgun sound is perfect to end the record.
Well, hey, man, and we'll get into this later, dude. I'm from
It's all
Chicago,
subjective.
man. Fucking history of violence. That shit's about Richard Speck, which is very Chicago centric. Anybody who's from Chicago knows the tale that they're talking about.
That's actually the original song title, Ballad of Richard Speck.
Richard
Right,
Speck, yeah.
right. But I'll tell you what, I'll take Old Candy any day of the week. But that's later.
That's
All
that's the
right.
closing of the record. "Oh Candy."
Yeah, yeah. To me, I think it works better that way.
Okay.
That's just me personally.
I've never listened to it that way. I need to give it a chance to see if that works for me.
I
But,
I've heard it on the CD, and I just prefer TV Violence to be the end of it.
all right. I don't even know what song we're going to or where, but I gotta pee. So
Next song,
Okay,
But
so
I'm
if it's
taking
the
the next
next
song or
one,
where
it
it's
would
going.
be
He's
I'll be
Our
right
it
back.
would be "He's a Whore." The third one, if we're going by Ian's order, it would be "He's a Whore," which to me is the heaviest track on the record, the most punky, who-ish song on the record. We saw them play it in St. Petersburg 2 weeks ago. It still works. It's a fantastic classic rock song. The chorus is catchy as hell. The lyrics, every time that Rick introduces a song, he says, "This is a song that my wife wrote about me." So it's tongue in cheek. It's basically about a male gigolo. which is Robin, and we can all picture him being a male gigolo. What do you think about that song, Ralph?
Oh man. Probably my favorite. Probably.
Yeah, I would agree.
But yeah, I think it may be my favorite song off the album. Yeah, it's extremely punky. The drum beat in the beginning, the loud aggressive guitar playing, fucking awesome. And
It's an anthem. It's one of their anthems.
and I've heard two covers of this song that are really good.
Like
One,
Vince Neil's.
Vince Neil's. That one
Yeah.
I liked, and I liked Raven.
Who else? Who else?
Raven.
Raven? They did that?
Yeah.
Holy shit, I've never heard that one. And we saw them.
There was a time I saw Raven, and when they do the song Rock Till You Drop, they always go into this middle section where they play different songs.
They do that one?
They played that part.
Shit.
You know, the part
I need to hear that.
Need Your Love, where it's like dun 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 dun. And I told them after, because I gotta tell Charlie the story. I don't know if Charlie knows this. I went to see Cheap Trick at a festival in West Palm Beach, and I'm all the way up front, and this older lady comes up to me. She goes, "You look like you like heavy metal," and I was like, "I love heavy metal." And she goes, "Do you know my husband?" And it was Mark Gallagher of Raven, and I was like,
Oh, wow.
shit. You know, and that night they played TV Violence that night, and I'll never forget it because now I'm hanging out with Mark. Me and him are enjoying the show, and they started playing that song, and he fucking hits me on the shoulder. "Oh man, you believe they're doing this one?" It was fucking amazing. Yeah. So, and then the following week, I was so happened to go to a hurricane relief concert in Jersey with Twist Sister, the Rods, Raven. And I told Mark, I go, "Dude, next week I'm going to be in Jersey." So the next week happened, and John Gallagher, his brother, is walking around. And I go up to John. I go, "Hey, John, man, hey, I met your brother last week at the Cheap Trick show in West Palm Beach." He goes, "He told me about you, Mike. Come on, follow me." And he took me backstage, and there's Twisted Sister, the Rod, CT Quick, you know. And he took me, and then, you know, John's there. There he is. So yeah, we bonded because of Cheap Trick. And yes, they covered each part. When I saw them live once, they did the middle section of Need Your Love.
So cool. Raven are amazing. So, to know that they're fans of Cheap Trick makes it even more cool.
They're big fans of them. Anyway, Ian,
So Ian, what do you think of He's a Whore?
Fucking he's a whore. God damn it. All right, here we go. That dirty, stinky riff, that voice, and then anytime at all. Oh my God. Is this song so fucking good? So fucking good. This is one of those, and it's weird. Like, you know, like I said, you know, I first initially started doing notes for this, and the track listing was throwing me off, and I was like, God damn, I may like Heaven Tonight more than the first album, even though there's songs on the first album that I like way more than the tracks on Heaven Tonight. But I was thinking about like album flow and shit like that. But now, like, hearing everything the way it should be, I'm like, oh yeah, this album blows away Heaven Tonight. He's a whore. God damn. And it reminds me of my dad. My dad was a gigolo. You know, my dad was a gigolo. Ain't no way around it. It reminds me of him, and I love it. I love the riff. I love the flow of the song. And I love that Vince Neil covered this. I think this is like the perfect song for Vince Neil to cover.
He did a good.
Only good song on that record.
I know, but it makes sense.
He did a good cover, man. I like Vince Neil. Actually, I heard that CD the other day. Tattoos.
Yeah, tattoos and tequila.
I like Another Piece of Meat from the Scorpions. I think he does well. There was a Sweet song. I can't remember now which one it was, but I like that too. Yeah, good stuff, man. A lot of people goof on Vince. I think Vince has an awesome voice on a lot of the records, like Exposed, Shout at the Devil, and Tattoos and Tequila. I dig it.
Well, here's like I was saying about Vince. Like, if you had to hang out with one member of Motley Crue, who would it be? It's Vince Neil. Vince Neil is the guy you're going to go drinking with, and you're going to go have fun with.
Exactly. Exactly.
What are you going to go hang out with Mick Mars? Like, oh, my back, and Nikki, like, oh, I played bass on this. No, you didn't, and then Tommy Lee, wiggy, 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 get the fuck out of here. I'm going to hang out with Vince Neil. And we're going to do karaoke to fucking He's a Whore. I mean, He's a Whore I do anything for money. He's a whore. Oh my God. It's fucking rock and roll to the bone. I mean, and that's the funny thing is there's so many things about Cheap Trick that is like, Beatles centric, but then they have other parts. I mean, this is just like, owes more to AC/DC. And the funny thing, like, if you know the history of the band, like their history with AC/DC and, the camaraderie and shit like that, it's like, fuck, He's a Whore is fucking amazing. And this one, let me do the history of this song. He's a Whore is the most played song off this album by Cheap Trick. They played this 450 times. It was first played 1975 in La Crosse, Wisconsin. September 23rd, 1975. It was last played May 16th, which is just a couple days after recording this, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I fucking love that. That's
like I said, awesome. I saw them play them. They played that song in St. Petersburg 2 weeks ago.
I know. It's one of those, it's like, I can't even remember. The first couple times I saw AC/DC. First couple times I saw Cheap Trick, I was so fucking drunk. I can't even tell you what they fucking played. But I knew it was great. You know what I mean? I had so much fun. But that's the thing that's like back then, like there's something to be said. Like Ralph has these great like stories about like he knows what was played at this show and what was that. I don't have as many of those stories because I was fucked up, but I know I had so much fun, but I was in the moment.
Yeah, but Ian, I was fucked up too. I was drinking Jack.
Nobody has seen Cheap Trick more than Ralph. 100+ times. Who else can say that?
Yeah, I've
been trying to catch up.
I'm sure there's other people, that are just like Ralph that have seen this band a million times, and I love that. I love that this band has that. But I've just been in like, I don't know. Ralph is an anomaly. Ralph is like if you looked at Ralph at a surface level, he would be the kind of guy I fucking can't stand. That's like, sober, records a thing on his phone and shit like that. Like on paper, I would hate this motherfucker. But I gotta say, like, I was right next to this guy on, Rush's last tour. This guy had his phone set up. He had it set up perfect and recorded every song perfect. But we were still in the moment and still had a good time.
Yeah, I was looking at the band, but filming the screen.
Right. But he was there. He was in the moment. But most people you see nowadays, they're all like, holding this shit up. You just want to fucking smack him with a wet turd right upside. Like, fucking live it. Live it. Don't fucking record it. Live it, motherfucker. And I've been to so many shows, and it's funny. I'll never forget the one time I saw Judas Priest stone cold sober. And I was so pissed that I was stone cold sober, like, oh, I can't get into my groove. But then on hindsight, I remember every song they played. I remember all this shit, but I don't give a fuck. There's something to be like drunk and in the moment and at the show and all this shit's going on. And it's like, That's what I love about Setlist FM. Like, okay, they played this, and it kind of like brings shit back into your, jogs your memory a little bit. But there's something about just being at the show, living in the moment, having fun. Put your phone in your fucking pocket, man, and just fucking rock and roll, you know?
I want
It's,
people, I want people to continue filming shows so I can watch it on YouTube. I don't give a rat's ass.
yeah. No, and I get that. And I'm like one of those weird, like, yeah, I'm kind of like weird like that. Like I love to see this shit. Like great. If you're willing to sacrifice your enjoyment to sit there and go, and I can see it on Blabbermouth, like, hey, great. But when I'm going to the show, I ain't doing that shit, man. I ain't fucking recording shit. I ain't fucking taking pictures. Well, like I'll take pictures outside the bar. Like I have pictures of us with, Charlie at fucking Judas Priest, but not during the fucking show, During the show, I'm sitting there and we're watching Starbreaker, and we're having a great fucking time.
I used to think just like you, Rian. I used to think enjoy the moment, but then I would not fucking remember because I'd be so drunk. I've seen so many shows since 1991 when I started going to concerts. Seriously, I've seen Judas Priest, I've seen Iron Maiden. I can't remember any of them because I was so drunk. But now I record them just so that I can enjoy them when I'm sober at home and like, hey, they did this song. I don't remember that. So maybe it's just an age thing.
I mean,
I'm 49.
if it works for you, great. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, would I love like pristine copies of all the shows I've seen? Oh fuck yeah, it'd be amazing. But I would not trade that for the experience of just like
Experience.
being
I get that.
like
100%. I get that.
hanging out with people and having fun and fucking doing all this shit. And it's like, that Judas Priest show we were all at, when I'm hanging out with you
Right.
and Ralph and everything. What an amazing show that was. And there's so much
That's
shit
great.
that I don't remember because you bought me
I did
more
not
than
record that
good
show.
sir, but the fact of just being there and being in the moment, oh, that's the best. Even if I don't remember it, it's worth the memory that I don't remember. If that makes any fucking sense,
No, I
It
don't.
makes.
Okay.
I get what Ian is saying. Live for the moment.
Yeah, because you drink too.
There's a bunch of shows that I saw back in the early 90s that I wish I could go back and see. Like I saw Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. I'm like, I
Yeah.
remember how special that felt. I wish I could go back and see it, but it's just at the moment I enjoyed it.
That was one of the greatest shows I ever saw in my life. Page and Plant.
Which tour did you guys like better, the '94 or the '97?
94.
I saw them in 95, the No Quarter tour.
Yeah, I think I like the second one better. I saw the first one in Chicago, the when it was the no quarter bullshit, and then I saw the
Right.
Walking to Clarksdale one in Tampa in like '97 or '98. I think that one was better. I think musically, but
I think that album is underrated.
you know what? I actually went back and listened to Walking to Clarksdale, and it was better than what I remembered.
It's a good
And
album.
you know what's worse than what I remembered was No Quarter.
Yeah, I didn't.
That shit with the hurdy-gurdy, like durka, durka, durka,
Yeah,
durka,
but they
durka,
didn't,
durka.
they
You
didn't
know,
hit that shit live when I saw that tour.
it was fucking terrible, Well,
Yeah.
no, I remember that the live show was better, but man, I was watching some shit from the original special, and and you got like, I'm like, where's the monkey with peanuts? Where the guy's going durka, 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 durka. Get the fuck out of here. Where's John Paul Jones? Go fuck yourself,
Yeah, true. Where's John Paul Jones and where's Alan Schwartzberg?
Yeah, and I love my favorite thing ever is when they got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and John Paul Jones goes, "I want to thank Jimmy Page and Robert Plant for remembering my phone number."
he's, he's funny as hell. Did you ever see the Led Zeppelin interview on David Letterman?
Uh-uh.
Highly recommended. John Paul Jones steals the interview. He's hilarious. You know, Robert
Yeah.
and Jimmy Page just sitting there cracking up, and John Paul Jones just takes the ball and runs with it. Even David Letterman was cracking up at John Paul Jones. Highly recommend.
Awesome.
Check out Led Zeppelin on David Letterman. Awesome interview.
Awesome. Even though he's responsible for In Through the Outdoor, I'll give him a pass.
I love N3. I was listening to that the other day. Carousel
Hot dog.
I love Hot Dog. I love that whole album. I'm gonna crawl. The way that Robert Plant sings, I'm gonna crawl at the end. And I always thought it was unbelievable. And I read an interview of John Bonham talking about how amazing Robert Plant was at the end of I'm Gonna Crawl. But anyway, Ian, Mandicello.
Oh, Mandicello. Holy shit. One of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's just fucking gorgeous. That bass, those vocals, that guitar, dreamlike. What else are my notes? But the song title, Mandicello, it sounds like some VD I caught from an Italian girl. Um, but the song itself, oh my God, it's just gorgeous. I mean,
Look at me as I look at you.
yeah,
Dream of me as I dream of you. That was the first song that Danielle and I danced for a wedding. It was between that song and a Frank Sinatra song, and I had to pick Mandicello. To me, that song always inspired some emotion of a longing that few songs can really entail. So I'm so happy that we got to do that as our first dance. To me, that song will always be special.
Oh, and I get it, and I'm jealous of because you and Daniela are way prettier than most people should be. It's like that song is like way prettier than most songs should be, and you two,
That song is
it's
dreamy.
like, oh my God, when you guys have kids,
No, we're not having
it's
kids.
not even fair.
We're having
It's not even
dogs.
fair. You're too pretty to have fucking kids. You fucking handsome
No.
motherfuckers.
But that
But
song
no,
is like the epitome of dreaminess. It's just
oh yeah.
longing and love. One of the best ballads ever recorded for
Oh yeah. No, I would
modern
agree.
rock music.
Yeah, I would put Mandicello right up there with like Voices is like one of the most
Yeah.
like beautiful songs ever.
Voices, Voices is the biggest mystery to me. When they released it as a single, they played it on the radio for about a week. And I'm like, actually, Voices is the only song ever, and I like Monticello more, that makes the hair grow on my arm during the part where it comes to the final chorus. Your voices, and then it goes right back. Oh man, the fur rises. But yeah, you all done with Monticello? Because I got a lot to say about
No,
it.
No,
Ralph,
I can't. I
Ralph,
can't
you were
stop.
late.
Huh?
Ralph, you were late for our wedding a little bit, but 10 minutes before you showed up, Danny and I, our first dance was to Mandicello. And I would have loved for you to have been there because that song wouldn't have happened without you, man.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't have known about a song without you.
you know
To
what?
me,
You know,
the bridge in that song entailed everything I felt for my wife at that point.
that's awesome.
So
man.
thank you.
And later on at your wedding, I sang with Daniela. She's
She's
tight.
tight. We did She's Tight. I wish there was video for that, but yeah. I
Yeah.
threw the microphone and it landed on some guest's head.
Yeah. She was tight before the wedding, and then Charlie hit that shit. Ruined it.
That Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
All right.
But
so,
no, I mean seriously, go back. I can't turn the mic over yet on this song because it's just so fucking good. It's so fucking good, and it transcends so many different genres
It
of
comes out of
music.
nowhere. Like you don't
Yeah,
expect it to come out after what was his last song? Speak Now, or no? He's a whore.
yeah.
Where do you go from He's a whore to that?
Yeah, but I mean, you just hear that beautiful guitar intro, and then fucking Peterson kicks in with that bass, like dum 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 dum, and then when the fucking vocals kick in, and it is like, the best way to describe it is dreamy, and
So
not like, like in a gay way, but in a beautiful way.
I
It
hear
is. It's like you hear that song, and you're like, you don't feel your feet. You know what I
right.
mean? You're
You're
floating. You're
floating.
listening to that, and
Yeah, you're floating.
it's just, and you feel every lyric of it. You feel every note of it. Um,
And this is all
it's
Rick. Where did this come from? From Rick.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing with this album. I mean, there's like, there's the Terry Reid cover, and then there's the one song that Robin and Tom contributed to. Other than that, it's all Rick. But still, it's like, fuck. I mean, this is, when people like shit on Cheap Trick, I'm like, yeah, you're shitting on, you've heard I want you to want me a
But
thousand times.
the flame is
Right.
pure AR. But then you listen to this, and it's just heartfelt.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel
This is
fabricated. It
Cheap
feels
Trick.
like
This is, yeah. This is Cheap Trick at their purest and their fucking most, I don't know. It's
bare bones.
fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Can't
And
say enough about the cello. Might be my favorite track
I,
on the whole
I,
record.
I gotta tell you, man. My favorite production from Cheap Trick is with Tom Warman. Even though Rick Nielsen denies, but I think Tom Warman was their perfect producer. But if Tom Warman produced Mandicello, it wouldn't have been as good. He would have
I
really,
agree.
he would have really lightened it up. And
What
it,
about a
yep.
piano?
yeah, it would ruin it. It would ruin it. Wow. You know what? My favorite Cheap Trick ballad, Mandicello's better than it. So I guess this would be my second favorite ballad, though. My favorite ballad from them is "Take Me, I'm Yours," but I think Mandicello's better.
it is. I'll back you up on that. You're right. It is.
Have you guys heard the Concrete Blonde version of the song? Because I think it does it
It's
justice.
awesome. I love
Yeah.
Concrete Blonde, so I already like it. But I mean, really good cover.
Yeah, I agree.
What can I say? Mandicello, the way Robin comes in, it's like a fade in, but they're not really fading him in. His voice
Right.
actually doing the fade in, and just the angelic nature of that voice that's just about to like fuck you up with the next song. That's the complete polar opposite.
And the funny thing is, when we played it for our wedding, nobody knew who the fuck this song was. Everybody was expecting Journey. It was one of those big songs. Nobody knew who it was. But by the time like we danced it, everybody was like crying because it's such an emotional, touching song. You can't get over it.
Yep.
Well, and here's a interesting
Thank you,
fact.
Ralph.
This song was never played by Cheap Trick until 1995.
I saw them
Right.
play one. I
With
think
Billy
Yeah.
Corgan, right?
I saw
This was at the Ramada O'Hare in Chicago, Illinois, and the last time they played it was 2011 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I saw them
It's-
play. They headlined West Palm Beach, and I saw them play Mandicello one time. I did get them see them play it.
There's a version online with Billy Corgan playing the mandocello, and
Yeah,
that's what it is.
that's the DVD I own. It's an amazing
Sliver?
silver.
Is it Sliver?
Oh, I love Silver. I got that on DVD. Yeah.
Oh, what a great show! They bring out everybody, and they do
Slash.
each and every album. Yeah, Slash does You're All Talk.
Real talk.
Yeah, but Mandicello, man, I mean, it's one of the greatest ballads ever written. You know,
No, that is a good one. They bring out Ace Frehley and they play Dick. It tastes like chicken. You know.
but anyway, I'd like to say Robin Zander's voice on here is not only great and everything, but it's also like I'd be a homo for him. I would let him be the nurse so he can shove stuff up my butt like Ace Frehley does, and I'll take pills. That's
Yeah.
what Jello does for me. All right, do I take the next one?
Yes.
Heavy. He just had an angelic voice, and like the liner notes on this album, the liner notes are amazing. Pull this out. You know, it has like story of the band, and it says in here, Robin Zander, the man of 1,000 voices. And you hear, dude, it's like grunge heavy metal. You know, it's like very tough, crazy singing, and at the end, those screams. There's a lot of black metal people that sing like that, you know? This is 1977. The opening riff. And this is another thing, man. When Cheap Trick finally broke, because I was into Cheap Trick because of some error with my friend putting me in Columbia House, and I ended up getting In Color. And I almost erased it. I didn't even listen to it. My friend's like, I'll play it, because I thought it was going to sound like the Beach Boys because of the album cover. And when I played it, we were like, whoa, you know? And I forgot where I was going with the story. But yeah, I ended up getting this album at the same time I got it at Budokan in 1979. I had In Color and I got Heaven Tonight. And then I believe I got at Budokan first, and then I got this because I remember getting this. Yeah, I must have got this after Budokan because I remember getting this album going, man, they don't do anything off this album at Budokan.
I was gonna say there's no original songs from the first record on Budokan.
And of course they played a lot of it because we got the complete concert, but they played instead amazing songs. Look Out, Need Your Love, Song, and Surrender wasn't out yet when they played.
Can't Hold On.
Can't Hold On. One of the greatest. That's another one. I would put that in my top 5 of greatest Cheap Trick songs. The highlight of At Budokan, if you listen to the complete concert.
Ralph,
One of the
I
few
saw
blues songs that Ralph likes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I saw the video you did, Ralph, where you're like, I don't like the blues, but the greatest blues song I ever heard was Can't Hold On, and god damn it, I ain't gonna argue.
Yeah, that's right. I did say that. I forgot I said that. The greatest blues song ever written. Anyway, yeah. And I remember reading an interview, I think it was Circus Magazine, where Rick Nielsen said that a guy in the studio actually was shot, and that's the shot you hear at the end of the song was somebody in the studio got shot, and they even recorded the running away. But man, that to me is the ultimate ending to the album, man. Bam, you're dead. Album's over. Singing a song about a serial killer, really heavy, but we are in the song now. And gets so heavy, and Robin starts off a little, I need your love. But then later on in the fucking song, he's like, I'm not a lonely boy. Wow. Fuck. What an amazing ending to an amazing album, I think. But we're listening to Ian's pussy version. Ian, what do you think of the Ballad of Richard Speck?
My notes. Ode to Richard Speck. Not my favorite, but there's a lot to like on this. I don't hate it, but definitely not my favorite. I mean, there's so many.
This is your least favorite of the record?
I wouldn't say it's my least favorite, but it's not one of my favorites. It's gonna go back and forth with another one off this album for my least favorite. But I mean, we're talking about like it's one of those albums where like your least favorite you still fucking love. You know, it's not like, oh, I hear this song, I'm like,
I think I know you well enough to know which one is your least favorite. I'm gonna take a wild guess, but go
It's,
ahead.
Yeah,
it's probably my least favorite, which is on the next side. And
Right.
but
I
I mean, it's one. It's kind of weird because, like, as somebody who grew up in the Chicagoland area, this is, I mean, shit. Like Richard Speck was a big deal. I mean, this was like, this is something that happened in our own, backyard. Much like fucking, what was the clown, who fucked all the kids and killed them?
John Gacy.
Yeah, John Wayne Gacy. You know what I mean? It's like I remember like when John Wayne Gacy got caught. I was like in grade school, but I mean that was a big deal. But Richard Speck, like everybody who grew up in Chicago, Richard Speck as what he did, to those nurses, and it was fucking horrible. Um, but I mean, I will say, out of all the songs, this is one of my least favorites. Not that I don't like it, but in my opinion, Cheap Trick did two albums that were like all killer, no filler, where there's not one goddamn bad song. And that's In Color and Dream Police. Even though technically In Color has a horrible version of I Want You to Want Me. But still, it's like fucking, perfect. But yeah, no, I don't hate this song, but it's not one of my favorites. It's all right. Let's see how much have they done this song. I'm curious to see this one.
It's a lot. I've seen them play it several times.
We saw them play it at Niagara Falls in 2023.
Okay, this was holy shit. Here we go. This was first done on my first birthday, May 11th, 1975. In Rockford, Illinois. It was last performed August 19th of this year in McAllen, Texas. So they're still doing this one. I dig it, but just not my favorite. Is it my least favorite? Let me look at the set list. It's my second least favorite. Second least favorite, but I still dig it. Who's next? Ralph or Charlie?
Charlie.
Charlie, go ahead.
What is the next one? Hello Kitties?
TV Violence.
No, you got to talk about Ballad of TV Violence.
TV Violence? To me, one of the darkest lyrics in Cheap Trick's canon. The gunshot at the end to me means like a perfect ending to a record. I know the story of Richard Speck. I know I've been watching enough documentaries to know who he was. To me, this would be the perfect record ending instead of "Oh Caroline." Saw them play live.
Okay.
The riff, the main riff is badass. It's not a hit. It's not a single song, but it's one of those dark horse songs on the record that, out of all the dark songs on the record, this would be one of the darkest ones. It's all about a serial killer, where when you have a record about suicide, drug addiction, romance, and prostitution, this would be the perfect closer to a record with a shotgun blast at the end. To me, it just makes sense. Whereas "Oh Caroline" ends with the guy kills himself.
Oh Candy, not Oh Caroline.
Oh Candy, yeah, that would be, yeah, that's what I mean. Oh Candy would be your version of the closing track. To me, that doesn't work.
Oh Claire.
That's Heaven
Oh
Tonight.
Caroline, oh Claire, oh Candy. They love their O's.
All right, so Charlie, go into Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitties builds up. It goes into that Gary Glitter territory. And that riff is so contagious to me. To me, that's a perfect opening track to a record. To Cheap Trick, if you've never been familiar with Cheap Trick, and this is the first song you hear, and I've had friends that I only know The Flame, or I only know I Want You to Want Me, and I play them this, it's like, wow, what is this? This is a combination of, I don't know, different bands that you would hear. You can hear the influences and other bands that are currently in. I hate to mention Smashing Pumpkins, but that riff, they ripped it off for Cherub Rock, which was one of their biggest hits. That song to me is a perfect opener. I know Hot Lob is fantastic, Hot Lob, fantastic, but this to me is the perfect opener for the first record.
Right on, Ian.
I like this one. It was a grower on me. I know it's beloved. Bunny fucking rules on this. To me, Bunny Carlos. This is a Bunny Carlos song, and everything he does, I'm much more in tune with than any other member, of the band. But this is one of those like I said, I was listening to this, getting ready to it with the weird ass, the backwards ass track listing. And when I'm listening to it open up with Hello Kitties, I was like, okay, it's Hello Kitties. It's much better on fucking, at Budokan, the complete concert, which is much better than at Budokan.
Hey, don't say that.
I know you don't agree. And I get that is a total timeline thing, dude. That's total timeline.
Yeah,
Because
Agreed.
I heard at Budokan like a couple times before I became like a real Cheap Trick fan. And then right around the time I really got into this band is when the complete concert came out. And then when I heard that, I was like, okay, this mixes, like hard ass Cheap Trick with the candy ass Cheap Trick. And to me, it was much more fulfilling, but I get it, dude. It's timeline. You listened to that album for so many years, and that was your set list, and that was your run order, and that was everything. I do not judge you. I'm just saying I'm glad that when I came in was right around the complete concert because I think that is a much better representation of this band. And that's why it was released because it is. I mean, that was Cheap Trick at that time. It wasn't just like, songs for fucking 14-year-old girls who think REO Speedwagon is where it's at.
Look, man.
So
Just saying.
Ralph knows
Bag.
very well. I was in a tribute band with one of his friends, and this would be the song that we would start the set with. And
Yeah.
it's trickily it sounds simple, but it's not. The rhythm changes from 3/4 to 4/4.
That's all Bunny. That's why I said that. It's like I love what Bunny does on this.
It changes the tempo in between the song. So to me, it just builds up to a crescendo where it's like a perfect opening song. I know Hot Love is great, but it's straightforward 4/4, where it's kind of like a punkish song.
Hot Love's a better song. Yeah, Hot Love's a better song. There we go.
I'm going to disagree, but as an opener for the record, to me, this is it.
Yeah, I would say I agree with Ian. I think Hot Love's a better song, but it's not a better opener. It's just not. That's just
Okay.
not. And by using
Hot Love hits you right away, whereas Hello Kitties builds up.
and by Ian saying that he prefers Hot Love to open out, that makes my vagina extremely itchy. All right. Okay. Now I go. Hello Kitties, man. Come on. What you gonna do when you hit religion? Fuck those lyrics, man. And I personally think it is about ELO, Electric Light Orchestra, because of the Ron Wood connection. I mean, how many covers? They've done at least
Roy Wood.
Roy Wood.
Ron Wood.
Yeah, Ron Wood's in the Stones. But yeah, man. What a fucking song. I love the opening drum beat, which Bunny Carlos ripped himself off later in the opening of the latest. Great
Gary
song.
Glitter.
It's a cover song called Put Out the Lights. A great tune, but it's Hello Kitties. They redid Hello Kitties for it. Great opening riff, nasty. And you hear that little bell ringing during that opening riff. It's just chaotic, man. Chaotic, and Robin delivers it and lets you know. It's like the way he just like, and it's Rick Nielsen going through Robin, because it's pure Rick Nielsen lyrics, you know? And that's the thing I love about Rick Nielsen. I'm going to bring up the most hated Cheap Trick album that I like, and that is The Doctor.
That album sucks.
I love that album. And I will
It
tell
sucks.
I wish they would remix that.
I'll tell you this, that is the last demented Rick Nielsen lyrical album ever. That he hasn't been as demented since. But that's what I loved about Rick Nielsen. He was so demented and crazy. And by the way, and I thought The Doctor sucked too. I just grew to love it. But it's just his chaotic nature. And even in this song, look at that. Look at that picture. That's just awesome, man. Amazing.
Wow. I see a beautiful woman with a bunch of ugly men.
Anyway, I love the song. And then it goes into Daddy Should Have Stayed in High School. You want to talk about the peak of dementedness from Rick Nielsen? It's in It's a kitty diddler song. It's a song about a guy that
Better ass song.
and that song I've seen them play only once, and that was like in the.
You're lucky. I've never seen them play that.
They played it once at the Hard Rock, but the Hard Rock where we saw Judas Priest, because now the Hard Rock is from venue. But there I saw Cheap Trick play it, and when they played Daddy Should Have Stayed in High School, I was like, oh, what?
I'm 30, but I look like I'm 16.
Yeah, I'm 30, but I look like there's a future song. On All Shook Up. He goes, I'm 30 and I feel like 16. He says that in the song on All Shook Up. I think it's
High Priest.
No, I think it's I Love You Honey, but I Hate Your Friends. I think it's one of those songs. He says he brings that line back, which is fucking awesome. What a song. One of my favorite songs, probably my second favorite after He's a Whore, would be Daddy Should Have Stayed in High School, which should be played more live, man. And let me tell you,
I've never seen them play that.
Let me tell you, when they played it live, it was raucous. It was insane. It was fucking badass. And I think Bunny was still there. It was amazing. That's what I think about it. So, Charlie, talk about that song.
That might be the dark horse in the whole record. Yeah. The lyrics, if you pay attention to it, pretty perverse. Musically, it's catchy. It's dark. It's you would never think that the same band that did "I Want You to Want Me" did the same song. So it's a completely different band. When I first heard the song, it's like that cannot be the same band. So it made me want to explore further to see what else did they have. The song blew my mind just because it was a few bands, especially in the 70s, would talk about that. What is it that he says? I want to gag you. I'm sorry, but I had to gag you. What other band in the 70s would say that?
Also,
Montrose.
Also in the 70s, there were three huge bands that loved that song. Jimmy Page, Steven Tyler, and Ted Nugent are all huge fans of Daddy Should Have Stayed in High School.
Amazing.
All right. Well, I will say, I don't know if you're right, Charlie, or not. This is my least favorite song on the album.
Wow. I would have guessed another song. Okay.
Okay.
Look, Ian, my vagina itches. Stop it.
Yeah, this is my least favorite. Because
musically or lyrically?
No, it has nothing to do with lyrically. I'm fine with the song that's written about, Sammy Hagar fans. But musically, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't hate it. But it just doesn't speak to me like the other ones on this album. There's there's a lot of songs on this album that just like reach my fucking heart,
So is this filler for you?
I would say, yeah. I feel bad saying that it's filler. There's three songs that I think that are filler to me, to my ears. Let me go to it real quick. The three filler songs would be Ballad of TV Violence, Hello Kitties, and Daddy Should Have Stayed in High School.
Wow.
And I feel horrible calling them filler because, I mean, they're not horrible. I mean, there's much worse pedophiles out there. Like most of Sammy Hagar's catalog. But this is one, and again, like I said, I'm not gonna say, I don't want to lump up all pedophiles and saying they're Sammy Hagar fans, but I will say all Sammy Hagar fans are pedophiles. And then that's how it is. And that's why I know, like, I would let you watch my grandkids because you have Eat 'em and Smile behind you. You don't have any Sammy Hagar shit. So,
Signed by all of them.
yeah, I'm going to let you watch my grandkids,
So is this
Anybody
your
who has
least
Sammy
favorite
Hagar
track on
record.
the record?
What's that?
Is this your least favorite track on the record, you would say?
On this one, I would say, yeah. I would say this is my least favorite. But again, not saying that I hate it. But you got to pick one, right?
Right.
And this would be it.
God,
Um,
I wouldn't guess wrong.
yeah. But it is what it is. But then we go into what would be in my top three. Yeah, I mean, if I got to look at it, my top three, and that would be Taxman, Mr. Thief.
God, I love this
Uh,
song.
this song, this is like orgasmic when I hear this. It's hard not to nut, and then I got to find something to like clean it off and finish the drive. I mean, Taxman, Mr. Thief, holy fuck. This is a masterpiece. The riff, the melody, the vocals. This band was on another level right from the start. Uh,
Can we
and
agree that it's better than the Beatles, Taxman?
uh, boy, you put me on the spot there. Because I'm a
Just say
big
it.
fan of Taxman, but
I love that song too, but that's
you're calling
basically
me
the
out.
Batman.
You're calling me out here. Okay, all right. You're pushing me. God damn it! You're pushing me, Charlie. I'm gonna have to say it. Yeah, I think Taxman, Mr. Thief,
It
is
is.
better than Taxman.
I got
God damn it.
I gotta tell you, Taxman from the Beatles, fucking amazing. What a song. What an open revolver. That is the shit. Taxman Mr. Thief is better.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, you made me do it. I mean, it's one of those. I love Taxman, but Taxman, Mr. Thief. Like even today, I got up early and I was driving around. I had some shit to do. I'm like, okay, I got to listen to this album. I'm reviewing it today. And when this song came on, I was just like, it just, when you hear those like really good Cheap Trick songs, it's just like this thing like flows over you. You're like, ah. For the money, yeah, Taxman, Mr. Heath. It's
That
like
chorus
oh
sneaks
my
up on
God.
you. That chord change sneaks up on you.
Oh yeah, and it's so good. And I love the little peaks and valleys because there's parts of this song that are very Beatlesque,
Right.
and you feel that little flow. It's like okay, yeah, you're hitting here on the Beatles note, but then it goes up to the Cheap Trick, part of it, and you're like, oh fuck, it's going to that next level, and oh fuck, yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you called me out on this one. You called me out. Yeah, this one blows away.
Better than the
Taxman.
Beatles. We'll say
I love
better than the
Taxman
Beatles.
and I love the Beatles.
Me too.
But Taxman,
Me
Mr.
too.
Steve.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
love
question
it.
I've never heard. Wow, what's better? I mean, to me, the Beatles are the greatest band ever. But Taxman Mr. Thief, man. You done? You done talking about it, Ian?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just sitting
To
here
me,
hearing it in my ears. I'm like, ah.
after Mandocello, to me, Taxman, best song on the record.
It's an
Nice.
all right. Well, I'll talk about it. This song is the seed that led to a tree growing up wishing me death. I posted I posted this video.
You took advantage of him.
Yeah, you did too. All right, we were together.
Yeah, but not as much as you.
Oh, of course, because I'm Ralph. But I put this video up, right? I put Taxman Mr. Thief up on my Facebook, and I wrote, and I didn't mean this in a bad way. I really didn't. I meant it in a good way. I said Noel Gallagher wishes he wrote a song like this because this is a type of hard rock song Oasis does. My opinion. You know, they got a lot of heavier songs that have this vibe. But man, it's like the greatest Oasis song ever, and they didn't write it, you know. And oh my God, dude, I love this fucking song. Yeah, and this is a song I've seen them play quite a few times. I think the last time no, not the last time, but I've seen them play this quite a few times. It is a great concert song, and yeah, the riffage, those little drum fills that Bunny does.
This one was first played in 1976 in Bloomington, Illinois, where I used to live. It was last played April 19th, 2025.
Yeah, he still plays.
There you go.
All right, and then we go into Cry Cry. I love this song. My least favorite song on the album, though, but I love it. I love it.
Yep. I have to agree with Ralph. We saw them play this in St. Petersburg 2 weeks ago, and Robin Taylor Sander did the lead vocal. It sounded great for what it was. It's one of their more bluesy songs, but it's still a kick-ass song. It might be the weakest song on the record, my opinion. It still sounds great, especially the "I've Been So Lonely, Baby" at the end.
Yeah, at the end.
I love the track.
Yeah, it's
So to me, he sounded better. You know that Taylor Sander has been doing Downed. I
Yeah.
prefer him doing this than Downed.
Yeah, I seen him do Down, and it was great. But I would have rather seen Robin do it. But yeah, I'd like to see him do Cry Cry. Cry Cry. I've only played once. I saw a show once. This was probably the greatest Cheap Trick set list ever. It was before Woke Up With a Monster came out. And all they played that night was songs up to All Shook Up, from the first album to All Shook Up. And that night they played Cry Cry, and they played Can't Hold On that night as well. One of the rare times I've seen them do that as well. Well, I did a lot of rare songs that night that they don't usually play.
Wow, you saw him do Can't Hold On?
I've seen them do Can't Hold On 3 times, and the first time I ever seen them do Can't Hold On, I didn't know the song yet. I saw the At Budokan tour, and they played it. I didn't know the song, so the first time I heard it was live. They played it again on Dream Police, and then they played it on that '96 Between Albums tour, where they only played songs up to All Shook Up. They opened with, they even played that night, which they didn't play on the All Shook Up tour. They played World's Greatest Lover. And that song, I've never seen them play live.
Oh, I love World's Greatest Lover.
They played it that
Can
night.
we agree that that's Rick Nielsen's best guitar solo on that song?
Yeah. Yes, I gotta agree.
No, but I love it.
I would say Voices, but that's Steve Lukather.
That's not Rick Nielsen.
But
I would say greatest guitar solo is
Can't Hold On's pretty good too.
no, that Rhythmic Priest, but that's Steve Brown.
I love love High Priest of Rhythmic Noise.
God, Ian loves Steve Brand.
He's better than fucking Ace Frehley, I'll tell you that much.
Can't complain.
All
Can't
right, so
argue
cry,
with that.
cry, cry. This is the one, Charlie, you thought would be my least favorite. I take
Yeah.
it.
It's not.
No, I love this. Slow stomping blues. I dig it. Um, I mean, I can see why you guys picked this as your least favorite. Um, but
It's not
again,
my
like,
least favorite. I thought it would be yours.
yeah, oh, it's not your least favorite. Okay. But what I'm saying though is I could see why somebody would say like, okay, this is a throwaway. And I know there's ones that you guys love a lot more than me. But there's no bad songs on this album. There's no bad songs. There's just ones that I like better than others. And that's the beauty of these first couple, Cheap Trick albums. I mean, I think, you know, to me, the first four Cheap Trick albums are fucking amazing. All Shook Up, I think, is where they lost the mark. Even though
For two
I love,
songs, I would say yes. For
yeah,
two songs.
I love All Shook Up, and there's songs on that I love. But I think that is the album. I'll say this: I think that is the album where they lost it, where they could have took it to the next level after Dream Police, and I think they shit the bed on All Shook Up.
Can
Even
I
though
ask
they're
you exactly where that wrong turn took place for All Shook Up?
I don't think it has the hooks. I don't think it has the there's too much weird shit. There's too much like new wave influence. I think if they would have stayed,
Can I ask
in
you
my opinion,
where exactly? Where on that record does it stray too far for your taste?
like rhythm of the fucking priests and shit
That's
and
that's still a great song.
I got to tell you, because I was living in the moment. People weren't digging All Shook Up when it came out.
yeah. No, there's just something. I mean, there's great songs on there. Like one of my favorite Cheap Trick songs. What's the one about? I love you, honey, but I hate your friends. I think is fantastic, but I just don't think. To me, there's two.
Who the
Cheap Trick
King
albums.
fucked it up for me.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
the King.
Who the King sucks. But to me, there's two Cheap Trick albums that have no bad songs whatsoever, and that's In Color and Dream Police.
Yes. Agree.
Even though
Agree.
I gotta say, of course, the fucking I Want You to Want Me on In Color is not what we all know and love and want. But those two albums are like fucking flawless. And then
So
you
Ian,
go,
would you say In Color is better than their first record?
yes. Oh, by all means, yes. Oh, In Color, it's
Mind
hard.
blown.
It's hard for me. I go back and forth on In Color and Dream Police because I think they're both like flawless. Both of those are
And you don't think the
flawless.
first record is?
I like it. It has some of my favorite songs, but then it has stuff like, Hello Kitties, TV violence and stuff like that
Okay,
that I
but
like.
do you think those songs cancel out everything else? Do you think those songs are bad for what they are?
No, I don't. I don't think they're bad, but it's one of those things. It's like okay, like try to think of okay here like Kiss. Okay, for Kiss fans, one of the greatest Kiss songs of all time is "King of the Nighttime World," Detroit Rock City. But the rest of the songs on that album aren't that fucking good. But those songs are so fucking good. You kind of look at it as like, hey, it's better than what it really is. And that's how I am with the first album. I mean, fucking, we're still getting the songs. Oh, Candy, Mandicello, fucking He's a Whore. I mean, these are all time fucking favorite Cheap Trick songs. But then you have an album like In Color or Dream Police, where every song is fucking amazing. There's no, and that's just my opinion, you know. But I don't know. What fucking song are we on? I'm so fucking drunk.
Pie, right?
What
Yeah.
song?
Then we go into Old Candy.
Oh Candy. Oh Candy. My favorite song on the album. Hands down. Hands fucking
Wow.
down. Not
That's a
even
shocker for me, Ian.
yeah. Not even
Knowing you
close.
as well as I do, I would have never guessed it.
Yeah.
That is the
Not
poppiest song on the
not
record.
there's no fucking contest. Oh Candy is my favorite song on the fucking record.
That would be
Um
the hit single if I were the producer of that band. That would be the
yeah.
one single I
Eh,
would release.
yeah, like if there was a hit single on this.
That would be it.
But no, it's this. I mean, this song hits every fucking note. It hits lyrically, it hits musically, it hits all this. It's ambiguous. You know, it's like when I don't know how many years I listened to the song thinking it was about a fucking girl, even though there's a line where he says he, you know, but I'm like, oh, maybe I'm hearing it wrong. You know, no. It was about a friend of theirs who fucking killed himself, you know, and if you listen to it, it makes all fucking sense. But in my little teenage brain, every song was about a girl, you know, but this was about a friend of theirs who killed himself. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. It's fucking beautiful. It's heavy. It's uh, you know, the sentiment about it where he's like, you know, you didn't stick a needle in your vein. It was about a guy who hung himself, and it alludes to that in the lyrics, you know, all this shit. I love that, you know, they were going to call it, you know, the guy's name, which was like Marshall Mentz or whatever was the guy's name. And, you know, they did the play like Eminem, Oh Candy, you know. Um, but to me, this song sums up Cheap Trick better than any song on this fucking album. Just the beautiful end of it, you know, the tragic part of it, the fucking everything. And it's one of those where when this song is over, I want to play it again. That is the best thing ever. You know, that song that makes you want to just put the needle back, you know, flip it over, put the needle back on the record and start over again. Oh Candy, it's all about Oh Candy. This song just is haunting, beautiful, gorgeous. It's Beatlesque. It's Beatlesque in its perfectness, if that's a word. Um, it's fucking Oh Candy. It's top three fucking Cheap Trick songs of all time.
All right, Charlie, what do you think?
What I'm curious about is that at that time in 1977, was it normal to hear lyrics like this where it would refer directly towards suicide, or was it just something that would be shocking, like a
No,
shock value?
there
Oh,
was
very shocking.
there was a song 2 years prior by the Osmonds called "Kill Yourself."
Really?
Yeah, SOD later covered it.
I
Yeah.
didn't know
Well,
that. But
and there was a mantra song called Bad Motor Scooter
Yeah,
that was about like fags killing themselves in unison.
a very
no, but to me, seriously, this is the poppiest record, like the most accessible, radio friendly. If you know, with notwithstanding the lyrics, it's the most accessible song on the record. But once you listen to the lyrics, it's like, okay, well, this is a little off-putting.
yeah.
But this would have been my single choice if I were the marketing guy.
Yeah, I got it was. This was a single from the album. They did release
Ralph said I should be off pudding because I'm fat and I should stop eating pudding. You know.
Yeah, get off pudding.
Ian and I both love Primus, so it's pudding time, right, Ian?
It's pudding time.
Oh, I feel so left out of the group. But
I
anyway,
saw Primus two nights ago, and Yeah,
Oh, how's the new drummer?
amazing. I saw the Santa tour with
Yeah,
Merciful and
yeah,
what's the other one? Perfect Circle.
yeah.
Amazing.
He was good. Good.
Really
In
good.
in my opinion, they should have bought Brain back because I love Brain or Jay
Yeah.
Lane. I would have been happy with Jay Lane, uh, but whatever. Hey, he's from
Yeah.
fucking Louisiana, so
Works.
good for.
It works.
Woo!
Okay, right on. All right, sorry, Ralph.
Yeah, oh Candy. Let's go back to good music. Um, what can you say? Yeah, it's very poppy, but also dark, and the way Robin delivers, like, "Oh, Candy, why did you do it? No need to stick a needle in your vein. You got so damn depressed. We all love you." That whole part of the song, to me, sells it better than any part. But the whole song, the drum beat in the beginning, the chorus, and oh, oh, Candy, what a voice! What
Oh,
and then the fucking chorus is so full of hooks. It's like, ow, goddamn, getting hooked in the fucking chorus, man. It is,
it's like Oasis, but for men.
yeah,
You know?
it is perfect. Perfection at power pop. They may be, I mean, there you could throw in the Sweet and a couple bands before Cheap Trick that were kind of power pop here, but I think what Cheap Trick did was perfected. Kind of like
Oh
what
yeah.
kind of like what Judas Priest did with Black Sabbath. Cheap Trick is the glam rock thing. Cheap Trick to me perfected those songs. And a lot of those glam rock songs are perfect. But I'm just saying, you listen to stuff like Oh Candy, I would put that above pretty much every song I love from these pre-power pop bands. Oh Candy is amazing. And yeah, it's a good, and also I gotta say, it's a great ending for the
Yep.
album. But it's not a great ending for the album if TV Violence is on the album. That's
Right
how.
on.
All right. Well, are we going to talk about the bonus tracks or no?
You know, I listened to them today, and I've said this before in other shows. I hate bonus tracks. I really do. I wish bonus tracks would be on a separate disc because I don't get the same, and this one ends with TV violence. I like the CD to end with TV violence, though I will say some of these bonus tracks are cool. Now, the first one, Love and Money, it's an outtake. It's boring and it sucks, I think. What do you think, Ian?
Oh, loving my. It's okay, but I see why it was left off. That's what I think. What do you think, Charlie?
I agree. I've heard that one. It's one of those that you can do without.
All right, well, take the next one, Charlie. The other version of "I Want You to Want Me."
From In Color or
No,
No, no.
no, it's a bonus track on here. You haven't heard it?
I'm not sure if I have, so I have to skip that one.
Well,
Okay.
I'll say it's definitely better than the in color version.
Does it have the honky tonk piano or
No.
okay?
It's kind of like I Budokan, but not as good. Budokan is the definitive version.
Right.
It's good. It sounds like if it would have been on the album, which it was supposed to be. What do you think, Ian?
Yeah, I'll say it's kind of like that. It's better than the in color in a lot of ways. Of course, nothing will beat the Budokan. The one thing I like about the in color version is the chorus was like, "Put on my old brown shoes." I love the way it sounds on that. And this one is much. It's heavier where it should be heavier, but it's too heavy on that part. So it's better, and it's not. You know, it's a fucked up. whatever. It's nothing will ever top in Budokan. The next one was at Lookout.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, it, it's not better than the live version, but I dig it. But to me, like when I hear Lookout, I hear the version on a Budokan, the complete show. It's better than that, you know. I no, I'm sorry. I mean the live version is better than this one, but it's okay. What do you think?
Have you heard it, Charlie?
Not that one,
All
not
right.
not that version, but they still do it on all the time live.
I saw the last time I played the Hard Rock, they played it.
Right.
Um, I love this song. I don't love the studio version. And the reason
Right.
is because it drags on at the end with the
Yeah, I agree.
drags on forever. The Budokan version doesn't drag on at all. It's perfect the length it is. But they did that for way too long. And it's annoying. And yeah, the Budokan version, the vibe of Budokan, the sound, God, man, you can't better that. And it blows away. Lookout. And then the next one is
You're all talk.
great. Not better than In Color. Not better than Color, but it's great. I like the raw nature of it. It's awesome. What I was saying before, I think Tom Warman would have ruined Mandicello. And Tom Warman is my favorite Cheap Trick producer. But he
Really?
Tom Warman, I said, right?
I'm surprised to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Warman.
More than Jack Douglas?
Yeah. Dream Police and Heaven Tonight are perfection. The way he blended the strings in some of those songs.
The band would not agree with you, though.
It's fucking, he's the best. But he would have took Mandicello and made it worse, I think.
I get what Ralph's saying. I'm a big Tom Warman fan myself, and you ask any band that worked with Tom Warman, and they would tell you, "Fuck him." Everybody from Twisted Sister to Motley Crue to
Poison.
fucking Ted Nugent to fucking Cheap Trick. They all complain about him, but you know what? They all had their best-selling records with him. But I would say, like, my favorite Cheap Trick producer, I would say Jack Douglas. I would say the production on this album, I think, is phenomenal. But yet it's still not my favorite. But no, you're all talk. I agree 100% with what Ralph said. Really, I mean, he nailed all the points I wanted to nail. And then we get to the last song, which
Let me say one thing.
okay,
Say about your all talk. What I was saying earlier, how Tom Warman would have ruined Mandicello. I would think Tom would have ruined Your All Talk, because Your All Talk has more of a dirty, but it doesn't have that certain oomph that Tom did to it, where it's more poppier than this version, but it made it better. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's weird. I mean, there's different shit with Tom. Like, Tom's done some weird records, like Bloister Colt Mirrors. He very overproduced. But then you listen to fucking his production on fucking Dream Police. I think everything is perfect on Dream Police, production wise. I mean, I wouldn't change a note. But I also feel the same way about Twisted Sister Stay Hungry. They complained about what he did to that, and he neutered it. And I think that's the best sounding Twisted Sister album to me. So I don't know. Maybe his personality rubbed people the wrong way. I think he did an amazing job.
I will say Ted Nugent never said anything bad about Tom Warman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did like what he did. Weekend Warriors.
I think.
For
Yeah, he did State of Shock, right?
Have you guys read his book?
No.
The
whose book?
So from what I'm reading, he was not hands on. He would show up once the most of the songs were written, and he would be but like, okay, this is the good version. So he was not one of those producers that would say, okay, change this, change that.
Right.
Same thing for what's the other guy? Jesus, Ten Templeman.
Yeah.
I think Templeman was more heads on, but I did read there was a book about Tom Werman where he said he was talking about producing Sammy Hagar in the 80s, and he said he was afraid to touch the controls because he didn't want to get AIDS because Sammy Hagar is a fag and he has AIDS, which kills gay people. The last song, wow, holy shit. I dig Go-Go Girls. Try getting those lyrics passed today.
Oh man,
I mean,
that song is mega racist, very racist,
yeah,
and pro-Indian.
yeah. Pro-Indian and anti-jigaboo. I think what's the song? He's like, I don't like jigaboos and I don't like fucking Indians and what do you say?
That General Custard,
Yeah, Custard should have won.
should have won.
Yeah, the original title of this track was "MAGA Please,"
No.
and they changed it. But it's kind of like I can totally see why it was left off the album. I totally get it. Even though back then, like it would have meant nothing. These lyrics would have been no like fucking. Nobody would have cried. Nobody would have bitched.
everybody,
Nobody would have said anything.
everybody back then would hear a song like this and listen to the music like you watch a movie. You know?
Exactly. They would have been like the guitar. There's no guitar solo here. It sucks. They would have judged it musically, not lyrically. And
No,
I think that's
and
the thing with this song. I love that it's like a cool little like okay, it's a timepiece, and this happened then. But the bottom line is, it's just not a great song. Uh, Lyrically, it's kind of provoking now, but back then it's like, it just ain't a great song. That's how I feel about it. What do you think, Ralph?
I think it's a terrible song. I think it's horrible.
Right.
Nothing good about it, but like I was saying, back in the day, if you would hear this and the lyrics, you listen to these lyrics back in the day, you'd look at the lyrics like you looked at Archie Bunker. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like a character. Yeah, I'm not
Hey,
saying
girl, get over here.
it's not like Rick Nielsen or Robin Zander are racist. They're portraying them. And it's fucking hysterical. To me, it's hysterical lyrically. Musically, I think it sucks. You don't know that song, Charlie?
What song is this?
I dig gold.
I dig Go-Go Girls.
I have listened to it and pass.
It's not that good.
No.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
We did.
But it would be the best song on Busted. I will say that.
I agree. Have you guys heard the song Fan Club?
I
That's a
love
pretty
that
good
song.
song.
That's a beautiful
Yeah.
song. Which should
It
have
is.
been, which if you're gonna add bonus track, take off Go-Go Girls and put Fan Club on this.
Fan Club.
Fan Club recording the session, and Fan Club is the best. What I've heard out of the session that didn't make the album, Fan Club could have fit perfectly on this album. I love Fan Club. Great, great song.
All right. Well, that is our review of the debut album from Cheap Trick, titled Cheap Trick 1977. And what's sad, I was looking at like the fucking sales for this. This is the only one of the first four. This one didn't even go gold to this day.
And
And
it's wild because it's such an iconic album now.
I know, but it's sad. I think it's sold like so far it's sold like 150,000. But I mean if you look at like, the Cheap Trick albums that charted, I think In Color through um, All Shook Up charted, and then you didn't have another one until Lap of Luxury. But what's even worse is Busted went gold, and this didn't go gold, which is terrible. But I'm so glad to talk about this. And now, Ralph, we have discussed, besides at Budokan, we've discussed this album through All Shook Up. But, when you said, hey, we're going to do this, I'm like, we got to get Charlie Hill up on this motherfucker, you know? I mean, I really wanted Daniela, but I knew, we'll settle for Charlie, you know?
Danielle is a
And
fan of me.
thank you for showing up, brother. I appreciate this so much, and I'm so excited to have you on this show.
So Charlie, do you have a pick of the week you like to tell the audience? Hey, check out this record.
So just to get this out of the way, Heaven Tonight is my favorite Cheap Trick record, just because every song to me, perfect. If I have to go to pick of the week for something more recent, I would have to go to Jerry Cantrell's "I Want Blood." To me,
Is that
that's
good?
the
I haven't listened to it yet. I gotta check it out.
record of the year. If you like Alice in Chains, that's as close as you will get.
I have it on vinyl.
Amazing. We saw him. We met him back in February of this year. Amazing.
Awesome. How about you, Ian? I'm gonna pick something.
I'll show you one that I love, and this one was sent to me by the one and only Charlie Hill and Daniela Hill. This is an
Like 5 years
amazing.
ago.
Yes, I don't give a fuck. I still listen to this. I still love it. A great vinyl. This is Cheap Trick live, New Year's Eve, 1979. Are you ready? I mean, oh my God. And it's a gatefold. Look at this shit. This is fucking awesome. Oh, you got it too. But did Charlie give it to you?
No, but Charlie got me the autograph of Robin Zander and his kid that I put.
All right. Okay. Proof he does love you more than me.
I put it in the back of the zone.
Honestly, I feel like I owe you guys for turning me on to Cheap Trick. So both of you are equally.
No, this was
engaged.
one of the most. Oh my God! When you sent this to me in the mail, I was like, oh my God, and I love it, and I love it. I play it frequently. This
You
is
guys and Kim Mills.
yeah, this is a great show, and a great package. If you guys can get this, get it. It sounds amazing. This is the Dream Police era and everything. An amazing show. And I want to thank, Charlie and Daniela for that. I mean, amazing gift. And I love you, brother. I mean, you are just a great friend and fan of the show. And it was so awesome, when I went to go see Roth and, to go see Judas Priest and you were there. It was an amazing time. I think that was the first time I got to meet you.
My privilege.
Or no. I met you first on your honeymoon and then in
No,
Miami.
I met both of you at Judas Priest, 2019.
Was that the first one? Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
I met you before that at Cheap Trick.
I met you in February of 2019 when Cheap Trick played, opening up for Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Yeah, and Blood, Sweat, and Tears was awesome that night.
They were. Yeah.
I only knew the hits, but man, all the songs, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, which is probably
You were seated, Ralph, you were seated way in the back, but I had seats up front. And I said, come on, meet up with us.
Yeah.
And you did.
Yeah. I got pretty close. And that's the first time I met Charlie.
But that's the greatest thing in the world is people, however they discover the show, and then they enjoy it. But then when it gets to the point where we turn you on to something that changes your life, and I feel that's what, Ralph did through his Cheap Trick. I mean, that's really
Both of you. Ian,
Yeah.
don't cut your stuff short. Both of you meant a world of difference to me because before, like I said, I was listening to shoegazer music, Radiohead, and because of you guys, I expanded my horizons. I listened to Cheap Trick, Blue Oyster Cult, all the different bands that had more to say than what was popular at the time. So,
Yeah.
from the bottom of my heart, you guys are the brothers that I wish I had.
Right on.
Well, we both appreciate you, and that's why you are, you are a fan of the week. And it's not only you though; it's Daniela. Get Daniela back in here. I know she's in
Oh,
the house.
she's
Oh,
sleeping
she's
somewhere.
she's sleeping. Okay. All right. Well, she made her appearance. But we
But she
love,
loves you just the same.
yeah, we love the both of you, and that's one of the coolest things of this is like, we have people listen to us and enjoy what we do. But, we've got to meet you in real life. You and your wife, I mean, are just, you're family to us. And,
Same here.
you're just a big part of this, and I'm so happy. I like
Ralph
always
Ralph
follow
was
what
at
you
my
do.
wedding. Ralph was at my wedding. My father was not. So I want him to know that Ralph means a shitload to me.
Wait,
He
wait a
is in
second.
my heart.
Wait a
He
second.
is in my heart.
Wait a second, Charlie. How can you say I was at your wedding and your father
You
was?
were at my wedding. My father was not at my wedding. You were at my wedding. So you mean a hell of a lot more to me than my father.
I am your father. I was there.
It is
No,
what it is. But
it's incredible though.
Ralph
I
and
mean that
Ian, I both love you. I discovered you in a point in my life where I was not in a good place, and you guys were there for me. I was lost. I was in between bands. I've been playing music for 25 years in my life, and you guys gave me a push into okay songs that I or bands that I had never heard of. You gave me another life, another chance at life. So I can never repay you for that.
Hey,
I love you from the bottom of my heart.
well,
well,
I
thank
love
you.
you, dude. And I'll tell you something else I did for Charlie. I hooked Charlie up with my buddy who was starting a Cheap Trick cover band.
And that was amazing. It didn't work out, but it was for what it was amazing for what it
But they
was.
but they played gigs as a Cheap
We
Trick cover.
did. We did. We played off Peterson. We played Come On, Come On. It was amazing for what it was.
Um,
Well, I tried hooking up Charlie with this waitress I knew from Waffle House, but then he met Daniela, who was much prettier, much better, and I was like, oh yeah, you made the right decision. But no, dude, I mean, you are like, you know,
I'm a fan
we,
from day
we,
one, even from the
yeah,
Terrence days. I was a
yeah,
fan from 2017. I love you guys.
and
You
and
guys
we
are.
appreciate that, and we have friends, and we have fans, and then there's like certain next level motherfuckers, and you and Daniela are certainly, in the latter category. You are part of the family. You are part of the lexicon of what we do,
You guys
and
don't realize what you touch because at that point when I found you guys, I was not in a good place, and you guys made me fall in love with music again. I had been jaded from playing in bands for 20 years. I had given up on it, and you guys made me realize, okay, there's other bands that I had not heard, like Cheap Trick, listen for example. I knew the hits, but I did not know how far deep they went into. So for that, I from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, Ian, thank you, Ralph.
right on, man. All right, so now it's my time for pick of the week.
all right, what you got?
Did I go?
Yeah, right there, right there. No, no, the first one, right there. There you go. Stacy Q.
Yeah. Night, didn't I pull this out the last time?
Was
Night,
that Night Demon?
Night Demon Live. I did. I did. I posted. I know I did, or maybe it was on one of my YouTube videos. All right, let's go over here. Right here, huh?
Right there. That one.
Oh God.
Fag.
This guy sucks though. All right, let's go. Let's try another one. Let's go. Let's go right over here. Nice.
Wow, that's fucked up. You had Ace sign Tommy Thayer's record.
I like this one. Take a look at my girlfriend. She's
the only one I got.
Not much of a. You know what song is awesome?
I never seem to get a lot. What she got? Not a lot.
Take the long.
You have
I love that
Juliette
one.
Lewis sign this one.
Huh?
Yeah. No.
Juliette Lewis sign this one.
I had her
Well,
dad
it's
sign my
fantastic.
copy of the Any Which Way But Loose soundtrack, though. So there's that.
But yeah, Goodbye Stranger. This is some good shit.
Remember when we met them, Ralph?
Yeah, yeah. I got a poster signed by them, the whole band. Very cool. Anyway, so there you go. That is our review of the first Cheap Trick album. And the moral of the story on this episode is that Cheap Trick is better than Oasis.
Yes.
Thank you. And thank you, Charlie, for joining us. Thank you, Ian, for not passing out during the episode. And thank you all for watching. Schmack-a-ma-god.
Schmack-a-ma-god.
Next week on the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast.